Alrighty, welcome back everybody to our latest severe weather coverage. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon thus far. We are going live with a tornado in progress back over in Nebraska. This is live from Storm Chaser Ryan Scholl back over in Cherry County, Nebraska, just to the north of Mullen and Seneca. We are expecting the potential for a severe weather outbreak this afternoon, and we are anticipating the potential for tornadoes as well across areas like Nebraska, South Dakota, back into Minnesota and Wisconsin. And once again, there is obviously a tornado in progress here just to the north of Mullen. This is right along a boundary, and also we have a very discrete supercell. You can see that on the bottom right of your screen.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter immediately.
And this has just been upgraded to a confirmed tornado warning. So again, north of Mullen, Nebraska, there is a confirmed tornado. Really spectacular radar imagery here just to the north of Mullen. You can see it's a very discrete supercell. This is literally blown up just over the last 30 minutes and is currently tracking towards Seneca, Thedford, and eventually going towards 83. The area of rotation on radar has been very tight over the last few minutes, and this tornado has actually been kind of circling. It's almost going to the south and southeast right now, approaching Highway 97 just north of Mullen. So again, you need to seek shelter if you're in this tornado warning. It's a relatively rural area, but areas that we are concerned about in the near term do include areas like Mullen, Seneca, and then eventually going towards Thedford. Still a non-condensed tornado here that is touching the ground. We've seen a little bit of dirt being kind of kicked up by this tornado over the last few minutes. And so again, this is Storm Chaser Ryan Scholl on this storm. We are also sitting at 8 severe thunderstorm warnings outside of this, which we'll get to in just a moment, and then 10 flash flood warnings, as we are expecting another active day of flash flooding and on top of that severe weather. But again, unbelievable look at a very photogenic storm here, and or very photogenic tornado. The tornado on radar is actually in this very low reflectivity area right along our boundary. And so any storms that can latch to this boundary today are going to be capable of producing tornadoes just like this one. So we could see multiple here over the next few hours.
Good pull off spot.
This is likely a weak tornado. It doesn't look like it has any sort of crazy violent motion here, but nonetheless, it is a tornado here.
Look at that thing.
Also, Storm Chaser Freddie McKinney and also a few other chasers are going to be coming up on this storm here over the next few minutes. We are keeping an eye on them. This is still alive again near 97. This is in Cherry County, Nebraska. It's a confirmed tornado by weather spotters. Obviously, Ryan Scholl is on this.
Look at it, snake!
Lock is broken. Thank you. You have to fix that. Give me 1 second.
Look at it, snake!
It is not 5. It's not 3:25 in the morning. My apologies.
Are you kidding me? Right above our heads, dude. Right above our freaking heads.
This is crazy.
Look at it, snake right now. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
All right, time should be good now.
Oh, it's roping out. I think it's roping out right above us.
This is such a weak tornado. It is very minimally spinning. Like, this is nothing like what we saw here over the last, you know, even like the tornado back over near Gary, South Dakota, for example. That thing had violent motion. This thing is really weak here, right along the boundary. It is a very discrete supercell, and it might try to produce another tornado, but you can see it roping out. It's becoming a very thin noodle now.
GoPro, this has been the perfect time for you to turn on, but you're not turning on still. Look at it, it's roping out right above us. Thin rope still up in the air.
It's not really even a tornado anymore, it's just a funnel cloud. You can see how it's
just still going.
Shrinking.
It's literally right above us. I mean, I'm staring upwards right now. I'm staring upwards. I'm staring upwards into this thing. I'm staring upwards into this tornado.
This is literally above Ryan. It's very interesting because, like, again, this funnel is not even vertical, really. It's more horizontal at this point. It's literally fully roping out. So this is basically a rope out process where a tornado goes from kind of being like this, and now the funnel is kind of like this almost. It's literally it's literally horizontal to the ground almost right now.
Above us, dude. Oh my, look at it's super thin.
Look at the bottom right of your screen, by the way. This is right into different, this is a boundary right here, and this supercell is just kind of spinning around it. I'm going to try to show you that here again in a second after this funnel fully occludes. You can still see it though right there. But it's a very interesting setup once again here in Nebraska, very typical for this time of year.
Look at the snake up there.
It's almost a needle.
There it goes.
Are you checking the golf? We can actually probably talk about the golf here in a minute.
There it goes. It's still there.
It's fully
barely,
gone now.
Literally right above us, still going.
You'd still see it very broadly spinning above his head, at least the clouds. But yeah, that's the full cycle here
Oh
of
my
the
God. Okay, I got because
tornado in Nebraska, and I think we're going to probably get more here over the next few hours. But you can see this discrete supercell is literally right along a boundary, and it is spinning. Like, it is literally almost spinning in a circle. It's really the perfect motion. Very slow moving, right hand moving supercell just to the north of Mullen. And here's the radar loop on this as well. You can see it began just west of 97, very rural areas, again, basically in a field. It is now fully occluded, but you can see there's a broad area of rotation now that's trying to form over 97. So this will be the new area to watch for, which could impact slightly more populated areas near Mullen, Seneca, and Thedford over the next half an hour to an hour. And if you don't remember, back in, I believe it was April or May, we had a huge wedge tornado back over here near Hyannis. And we obviously have covered this area in the past, and we've seen some crazy tornadoes in Nebraska. We may see another one here today back over in Nebraska. Another storm that we're keeping an eye on is also right near the boundary, just east of Hyannis. That is currently producing ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. That is currently tracking to the southeast right now, just off to the west there of Thedford. We have quite a bit of clearing right now just to the north of this supercell, so we may see another storm or two try to form near Ainsworth and east of Valentine. I think we could see an isolated tornado threat, but damaging winds and hail should be the primary concern, especially as storms continue to develop further down to the south. We also have a huge cluster of storms that has gone up in southern South Dakota over the last hour, with $half to ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds back over near Gregory, Burke, Winter, and back through Chamberlain. So be ready for some large hail and damaging winds. Large severe thunderstorm watch was also just issued a few minutes ago. Back over Minnesota and Wisconsin, we're also keeping a close eye on these storms, as we are anticipating the severe weather risk to increase over the next couple of hours, with damaging winds and even an isolated tornado or two being a possibility. Really, the main concern will be anywhere in this area here over the next hour, really near our boundary, which we may see an isolated tornado develop just off to the north and west of Minneapolis. So definitely stay weather aware. Nothing beyond quarter-sized hail or 60-mile-per-hour winds right now. We did actually have some rotation on the storm near Roseland earlier. That is no longer rotating, but it is something that we'll definitely be keeping a close eye on. Let me go back over to our storm here near Thedford. This is the latest radar scan. Again, very broad rotation now in our tornado warning. That initial tornado has fully occluded. This is back over to Ryan Scholl, who is still looking at the storm right now, and that is the area of interest at this point. It's a non-precip area of circulation that we are currently looking at near Highway 97 right now. And so that'll be the next area to watch for. It's broad rotation for right now, but it could re-intensify as this storm continues to track slowly to the east-southeast.
Oh, but oh my gosh.
And Scholl is still going crazy about the tornado. Also, this is John McKinney. John McKinney's on the storms back over in South Dakota right now. We already have a huge shelf cloud on this area of storms. I'm gonna get his audio working here. Or did my mouse just die? I think my mouse just died. How does my mouse die every time we go live? One moment, please. I can't even turn on his audio because my mouse died. This is like a very common occurrence. I need to not have a wireless mouse on streams anymore. Alright, let me get his audio working here. Let me go back over to Scholl for a second.
It's so rewarding, man! So rewarding leaving at 6:30 in the morning to catch that.
Huge W for Scholl. He left at 6:30 this morning to go chase that. That's wild.
Hailstone dropping in here. No SD card. I need to switch SD cards.
Here's John McKinney's view again of that shelf cloud back over in Dallas, South Dakota right now. Setting up my charger so I can actually charge my mouse. These are the storms right now producing $half sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. If we go back over to here, I do want to show you guys, this is our outlook for today for severe weather. In case you're wondering, why are we live today? Well, we haven't been live for many severe weather events, but we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather in place today. That is going to include a pretty good chunk here of Nebraska. Slight risk of severe weather goes from the upper peninsula of Michigan back into northern Kansas, and then we also have a marginal threat for northern Kansas all the way back into the central parts of Wisconsin, where damage damaging winds is going to be our driven enhanced risk of severe weather risk. That is where we could see damaging winds as high as 70 to 85 miles per hour this afternoon. So be ready for the potential for significant wind back over in central Nebraska. We will likely have a line of storms in a couple of hours after these discrete supercells are kind of done with. But definitely something that we need to keep an eye on even further off to the north is that we should at least see some isolated scattered damaging winds. Then our tornado risk for today, it's not super high, but we do have two different 2% tornado risks that are in place. This encompasses about 1.5 million people across Nebraska, southeastern South Dakota, also just north of the Twin Cities. So definitely make sure that you're staying weather aware, have multiple ways to receive warnings. As long as we have a tornado risk, we are probably going to be live here. So definitely make sure that you are staying tuned to the channel. Also, it looks like we have a bowl lowering. This is from Storm Chaser IRL. There's a bowl lowering forming where he is. He's back over, I believe, near Thedford, unless his location hasn't updated.
Yeah, I don't think it's done yet.
There's a little, at least a wall cloud trying to form here. So he's back over near Thedford right now. A little lowering attempt there. And so again, this is a storm right now just north of Mullinan as well as north of Kelso. It's in very rural areas of Cherry County. What in the world? There was a storm in Alberta, Canada that apparently had 3 different funnel clouds. I'm gonna see if we can try to figure out a way to show it. All right, so it sounds like Storm Chaser IRL here. He's on the storm back over north of Kelso. His location hasn't updated in like 15 minutes. So he's on this storm. Again, there's at least a little lowering that has developed here over the last couple of minutes. Shoal is still pretty much underneath this thing. So this is his view. But I do think it is cycling. Again, it is right along our boundary
Sorry,
here.
guys. Oh, okay, my GoPro's that's not wanting to work now. Okay, so I'm gonna have to throw it in the other one now too. I don't even know what's gonna happen.
Obviously, we did have a tornado to start the stream. This is no longer technically on the ground. It is still a confirmed tornado warning via the National Weather Service. Should be updated here in a moment.
What a freaking tornado we had. What a freaking tornado, dude.
Also,
this
shout
gonna be
out
ready
to
produce another one.
Ashley for watching the stream on a projector. This is pretty cool stuff. Does anybody else watch the stream on a projector? Let me know in the chat. There was apparently a supercell back over in Canada that had 3 different funnel clouds.
Still has real good rotation in it.
But we're going to see if we can show that on stream. Back over to Storm Chaser IRL, who currently again has a little wall cloud that is forming right now.
Right there, so we'll see if anything comes out of that.
This is a storm that Shoal is also looking at. But this discrete supercell has a lot of potential. We also have a storm a little bit further off to the north that is kind of splitting. And if this supercell here can get its act together, it actually could split and become its own tornadic supercell as it goes towards 83. So that's something else that we need to keep an eye on as well. Also, John McKinney has quite the shelf cloud right now back over in Dallas, South Dakota. Make sure we have it on 1080p here. Yes, I'm on a projector only 10 miles north of Riley. Okay. Thank you, Zippy, for the $5 super chat. I just don't believe that, but I appreciate the super chat. This is our area of storms that's been going up in South Dakota. I really don't have much confidence that we're going to see a tornado risk in southeastern South Dakota. I think all these storms are just going to get clustered together way too quickly, but we are at least watching for some, excuse me, some scattered damaging winds and also hail as these storms go towards areas like Platte and Burke over the next few minutes. And then again, we have at least an attempt of a wall cloud here back over west of Thedford. No new update really on this storm as of right now. It's at least attempting to cycle, which I think it'll take a few minutes to do, but it's at least trying. Just east of 97 in Cherry County, North Dakota, just to the north of Mullen. We have a slightly better view here of the shelf cloud here in just a second. In Dallas, South Dakota.
Pull off here a second. Take a look at this storm. Get a look at it while we're going down.
Here's that view of the shelf cloud. back over in Dallas, South Dakota. This is going to be heading into Gregory and Burke over the next few minutes. It's also a fairly slow-moving area of storms, so localized flooding is a possibility. We've obviously had a lot of flooding over the last few days. Flooding is going to become a bigger concern elsewhere as well, including areas like the Gulf Coast, with the potential tropical storm that could form over the next few days. As the shelf cloud, this back over to Storm Chaser IRL. Still has a lowering. It looks like Ryan Scholl is now underneath it. Refresh him real quick. He is underneath that little wall cloud. You can see it broadly spinning above his head right now.
Very, very closely. It's literally right above our heads. A lot of motion there. Got some good video on my mom's camera too. And my mom's
also, as has been updated, it is back down to a normal tornado warning.
So.
No longer confirmed. Mullen is in Nebraska. I think this is going to attempt again.
Good.
Also, yeah, John McKinney is Freddie McKinney's dad. Freddie McKinney's also coming up on this storm right now. This is.
I think it's trying to go. I think it's trying to go Alpha Dominator.
Bob's Road.
This is Freddie McKinney. You can see the wall cloud.
There's not much rotation on radar right now, but the fact that it's on the boundary pretty much says, okay, yeah, it can spin up at any point just because.
Freddie McKinney has the wall cloud off to the right as well. Obviously, Scholl is right underneath it.
And like an extra.
If you're over in Mullen, Seneca, Thedford in Nebraska, you definitely need to be staying weather aware for the supercell.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Like it may not show up on a scan, but then all of a sudden it's there.
Also, one thing I do want to point out, back over in Minnesota, you can actually see this elongated boundary right here. That is out in front of most of our storms, just off to the west and northwest of Minneapolis. And so the majority of these storms at this point should be mainly a damaging wind threat, but if any storm can catch up to that boundary that has been shot off by these storms, there is a chance that we could end up seeing the potential for a tornado. But for at least right now, most of Minnesota, I'd be mostly concerned about damaging winds and hail. That includes areas near St. Cloud and also back into northern Wisconsin. We also have a damage report back over in Motley, Minnesota, that there are reports of trees down on US 10 south of Motley. That is relayed by County Dispatch. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, I have an update from Hyannis, Nebraska. We did just get an upgrade to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. There's been observed 2-inch hail with that storm. The one thing I do want to point out for anyone who's in these the area of these storms in Nebraska is once we do see the storms go back over the boundary, they're no longer going to be producing a tornado threat, but they will produce a substantial hail threat. As it goes over the boundary, it basically forces a bunch of different water up into the air, and that is going to fall in the form of hail. So keep an eye out for hail. It can be very destructive, and we may see a large hailstorm head towards the town of Thedford as the boundary interacts with our current tornado producing storm.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So yeah, obviously today also, and on top of that, our lapse rates are very steep today, which essentially means that our temperature is decreasing rapidly as we go up with height, and so that is going to be able to help to produce larger hailstones as well. So definitely something to keep in mind here is that not just talking about the potential for an isolated tornado or two today. In fact, really the biggest concern should be damaging winds, but we're still waiting a line of storms to form, and until that happens, we do have a more elevated and heightened tornado threat here across Nebraska, South Dakota, and even back over in Minnesota and Wisconsin if any storms can be along or near that boundary. So definitely something that we need to keep a close eye on here over the next few hours. We are still seeing at least some broad attempts of rotation back on the storm here north of Mullen in Nebraska. This tornado warning does go for 8 more minutes, so it'll go until 4:45, but we do still have a wall cloud, and I think as long as there's some level of rotation on this, we will probably continue to have a tornado warning. This is Freddie McKinney's view of, again, that wall cloud, which has gotten much larger over the last few minutes.
Road. At least it's a paved road now, so.
I was gonna say I would.
That's off to their right now. And obviously, you can tell there's really not a lot out here. It's pretty rural fields right now, but obviously we are a little bit more concerned about some of the more populated areas further off to the south and east that could be impacted by this storm.
Sometimes I wish that the roads are actually gravel instead of paved because of how bad they get.
And then this also, let me go back to Freddie. Freddie has a decent view again of that wall cloud on the right side of your screen.
Those paved
Thank you,
roads
Kate, for the $5 super chat.
Just a nightmare.
Near Brownlee? I'm guessing you're talking about Nebraska.
But yeah, We still got the double mezzo thing going.
Yeah, I'd be saying weather aware if you're over in Brownlee, Nebraska, because this is the interesting thing about what we have right now. We have obviously our discrete supercell. This is what's going to produce the more elevated tornado threat. But on the other hand, we also got to watch the storm that's a little bit further off to the north, because that's trying to split away from our discrete supercell. So this thing right here is attempting to split off. And if that's able to split off and become its own storm, there could be a more elevated tornado risk with that one. But at least for now, I'd be at least mostly concerned about hail and wind. Also, in the latest couple of scans, we do not have a whole lot of rotation, but you can still see the hook gecko and the inflow. It's a little bit behind our boundary right now, but if it can catch back up to the boundary, we may see a tornado try to drop again here over the next few minutes.
Little cattle guard.
It's back over to Freddie McKinney with the wall cloud that's forming
here.
here.
You might hit one of those, and it's just like.
You can also watch Freddie McKinney, Storm Chaser IRL, and also Storm Runner Media all inside the Radar Omega app at the top link in the description below.
In my chat as well.
A lot of people like 2. Somebody said 4. To be honest, I wonder if it could be 3.
Funnel clouds in Illinois.
Oh,
I haven't seen any reports of that, but there could be some cold air funnels.
4 would be maybe the South Dakota storm. I don't know. Oh, another cattle gourd.
Or maybe sheer
Cattle
funnels.
gourd. You guys heard that right here first, guys. Cattle gourd.
Cattle gourd.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for these cattle gourds.
Also, this was a few minutes ago.
Ooh.
This was from Ryan Scholl, the photo of the tornado that just happened to begin the stream back over to the north of Mullen, Nebraska. It was pretty much in a field. That is from Ryan Scholl just a few minutes ago, in case you're just tuning in.
One doesn't look bad.
The other one's looking pretty spicy, right?
Hey, Lori, for the super chat. Yeah, if you're in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, I'd be at least ready for wind and hail. I think the hail risk is a bit more elevated there. The tornado threat should stay low, but it is not zero.
Balls. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
Also, tomorrow, we're obviously mostly focused on today, but I do want to point out that we'll probably be live again tomorrow on top of today, because this is our risk for tomorrow. We got 2 slight risks of severe weather, with both slight risks having at least a tornado risk. There's a 2% tornado risk in both of those areas. We're going to have a remnant mesoscale convective vortex from today's setup that'll move into the Midwest tomorrow, and that will actually help to spur the potential for a couple of tornadoes back over in Illinois, eastern Iowa, and also Wisconsin. So definitely stay weather aware. We also have a large marginal threat of severe weather that encompasses the Ohio Valley as well.
Just a moment, just to show you guys.
So again, big wall cloud here from Freddie McKinney, and then this is back over to Storm Chaser IRL, who also has that large wall cloud here on this storm.
Hope you feel good about yourself.
Which again could try to produce the potential for another tornado as it stays along the boundary. We are continuing to keep a very close eye on this storm. The latest scan still showing a very weak, but at least a couplet there. It's not really much, but there's at least a little bit of rotation still on the storm just to the north of Mullen. That is still tracking towards Route 83 over the next few minutes. Also, we just had a report back over in Hyannis, Nebraska from a train spotter that 2-inch sized hail fell on that storm that is right along Highway 2. This is really more than anything just a big hailstorm right now. Eventually, we will see more storms fire up near this boundary, and that should help to elevate our threat for at least damaging winds. We should start to see a more significant wind threat start to evolve here over the next few hours across our severe thunderstorm watch.
I think the boost fell.
Back over to Freddie, and I'm going to pull up the watches here in just a moment as well.
So.
Where's your little...
I'll just set it up here for now. I'm just going to try to, or I can just keep it like, well, there we go. Just going to keep it like right here. All right, we got to find a, I think I'm going to keep cooking.
Still got a large disorganized wall cloud.
Both of these are looking good.
That is off to their west right now. This is the severe thunderstorm watch that we have in place back over in the upper Midwest today. So this will be back over in areas like Minnesota and also Wisconsin and Michigan. This is going to be again until 10 o'clock tonight. They did not mention anything in this in terms of a tornado risk, but there is a potential for a couple of tornadoes this afternoon and evening. I think the peak of the tornado threat in the Midwest will be between 5 and 7 o'clock. Not really a long window, but if we get anything discrete near our, our frontal boundary, there may be a tornado or two. This anywhere from St. Cloud and Minneapolis back over into the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Scattered 2-inch sized hail and scattered damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour is likely. And then back over in Nebraska and South Dakota, they also didn't mention anything about tornadoes in this watch, which kind of surprises me because I think this is the area that has the best chance of at least seeing maybe 1 or 2 more tornadoes today. From Mitchell, South Dakota, even back through Phillipsburg and Kansas, there is an elevated risk for scattered damaging wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour, frequent lightning, and then scattered hail up to the size of 2 inches being a possibility. So this again goes until 11 o'clock tonight. Broken Bow, Lexington, Grand Island, Hastings, Holdridge, and as well as North Platte are all included in that risk for tonight. Also, they have gone ahead and allowed, I believe they're going to allow this tornado warning to expire in 2 minutes, but they have issued a severe thunderstorm warning to include areas north of Thedford and Seneca. That'll be for ping pong ball sized hail and 60 mile per hour damaging winds. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, I have an update out of Eastern Virginia where there is a moderate risk of flash flooding. There are multiple reports coming out of basically all of these flash flood warning polygons that there are people driving into floodwaters during rush hour and getting trapped in their vehicles and needing high water rescues. You guys can see that there are a ton of different flash flood warnings in this area. Rain is still falling. These floods are getting worse. Please do not drive through floodwaters. Turn around, don't drown. We've seen a lot of very unfortunate circumstances with flooding, and for whatever reason, people are still trying to drive through floodwaters. It sounds like there may be some portions of I-95 and I-85 that are closed due to flash flooding. Not fully closed, but down to a lane restriction as water's pooling on those roadways. So if you're traveling through the area, keep an eye out for that, and remember, turn around, don't drown.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. Also, this is a photo from last night back over in Scotch Plains, New Jersey on one of the traffic cams, and this just gives you an idea of the power of only 6 to 7 inches of rain that fell back over here in Scotch Plains, New Jersey on Park Avenue at US 22. Obviously, multiple cars were stranded. We've had a lot of submerged cars from all the flooding events that we've had recently, and I fully expect that, you know, over the next few days, we are going to continue to see the potential for more major flooding. And if we go over to our hydraulical outlook for today, from the Weather Prediction Center, we do currently have a day 1 moderate risk of excessive rainfall. That's a very small one. It does include Farmville, Virginia, Blackstone, and then back through Templeton and Waverly. Petersburg's also included in that, and Petersburg was under a flash flood emergency last night. We also have a flash flood warning in effect for Richmond, Virginia, which is a much more populated area. Even back into the Midwest today, and also across the Central Plains, we do have a slight risk of excessive rainfall in place where more flash flooding is going to be a possibility. All right, let me go back over to, it looks like John McKinney in South Dakota actually has, it looked like maybe a little lowering developing. That's John McKinney's view. It looks like maybe if something trying to lower, it looks kind of scuddy. This is on the cluster of storms east of Winter, South Dakota. It's just what just to the west of Platte right now. Huge shelf cloud obviously to the right side of your screen.
Very warm, very humid here. Just amazing country.
That's back over in South Dakota. And this is also a view still of our storm that just produced a tornado a few minutes ago. They've gone ahead and allowed the tornado warning to expire. They may issue a new tornado warning if this storm's able to organize again. It is still discreet. You'd still see a raggedy little wall cloud here in the middle of your screen. This will be heading towards Thedford.
When I did get it, it was roping out. Very hard to see. I got a picture of it, of the rope out.
Hey, Rick, Anna, Carolyn for becoming members, and Keaton for the $10 super chat.
Probably get a better picture looking online.
Also, while we're at it, I do want to quickly talk about the tropics real quick. In case you've not already heard, back over in Florida, we actually have a potential for some big flooding today, but there's still a 40% chance that something develops in the Gulf over the next few days. We could actually see a tropical storm form. Hurricane looks very unlikely at this point, but if anything were to form, it would likely be in the northern Gulf, going towards areas like the Florida Panhandle and Louisiana over the next few days. There is actually a potential, again, for major flooding along the Gulf Coast on Thursday. You can actually see the Invest 93L right now in Florida. You can actually see it spinning here. It's just been so sheared off along the east coast of Florida that it had no really chance of developing there. And so that area of circulation is currently southwest of Jacksonville. It will be probably going into at least the northern Gulf, at least temporarily. But if it's able to stay in the Gulf for more than 24 hours, I think we'll easily see a tropical storm form. So don't be surprised if it were to form. We actually could have tropical storm coverage on Thursday, but it does appear unlikely that we're going to really see much out of this, aside from just there being, you know, flooding rainfall. Other than that, I don't really see there being much actual hurricane or even, you know, high-end tropical storm impacts. So that's at least what we can expect as of right now on that storm, or that storm system. Back over to John McKinney on our shelf clad back over in South Dakota right now. As of right now, we do have 13 severe thunderstorm warnings. The majority of those are currently in the Central Plains in South Dakota and Nebraska. We have one in Minnesota. One in Minnesota, and then we have also a few down in Florida near Tallahassee. Bottom right of your screen is the cluster of storms that John McKinney is currently on. Just a large shelf cloud out here in the plains. It's been storming all day in north central South Dakota. I bet we've received over 2 inches of rain. We've had a lot of rainfall in a lot of places recently, especially in localized areas that has led to even some major flooding. Speaking of flooding, we literally just got a new Weather Prediction Center outlook for flooding back over in the Central Plains. This does include Nebraska and Kansas, where localized flash flooding is possible this evening, including areas like the Nebraska Sandhills. So be ready for excessive rainfall. These storms are very slow moving here along our cold frontal boundary. It's a pretty weak little shortwave trough that is moving across South Dakota. Really not a whole lot of motion with these storms is in the forecast today, so we definitely could end up seeing the potential here for some excessive rainfall. Probably at least going to see some localized spots around 3 to 6 inches of rainfall. All right, back onto our storm that was tornado warned west of Thedford. I'm really not seeing a whole lot of rotation right now. This would be the area to keep an eye on, though, just to the north of Kelso. This will be coming up on Seneca here over the next few minutes, and then eventually going towards Thedford. As I already mentioned, this is the area that we need to be staying very weather aware. In case this storm does latch to our boundary again, we may see another tornado come out of that storm. Also, just to the southeast of Hyannis, I am seeing at least some large hail on this storm. It's still warned for 2 inches in diameter. That'll be heading towards 97. South of Mullen, fairly rural areas here in the Nebraska Sandhills. There's also potential for damaging winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. We've also had some convective initiation back down to the south of that near Arthur. That is not really doing a whole lot right now, but at some point may grow into a little hailstorm, and that'll eventually be going towards Tryon, North Platte, and Stapleton. You can see the very strong southerly winds here on radar. You can actually see the particles here on radar and also the strong southerly winds all coming up towards our boundary. That's all that moist and as well as warm air that is lifting off to the north, which is going to help to elevate our threat here of severe weather across central Nebraska here over the next few hours. This is back over to John McKinney with the shelf cloud. And this is also Ryan Scholl, who's still on our storm that was tornado warned.
I still don't. It's still so hard to believe that happened.
A little bit more elevated for right now. Could change. Thank you, Zippy, for the $10 super chat. In your forecast this morning, you showed a picture of Mount Joy in Pennsylvania flooded. That's where I am right now, directing traffic for power line repair. Appreciate you helping out there. And yeah, let me find those photos again.
So we should a little bit, I would think.
For the record, we've had some kind of crazy stuff recently, but that is obviously flooding's been just crazy across the board here over the last couple weeks. July, very commonly we do have flooding, but these are some of the photos that we had sent, or this is at least one of the photos I sent in from the flooding in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. And this is just an entire farm, essentially, that was at least flooded over. Multiple cars, again, stranded in the roadways as well. See, that vehicle was stranded, likely stalled out because of the floodwaters. And then another low-lying area here that was flooded. It looks like some sort of barn that was flooded out here back over in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, this has been a very common sight over the last few days. And then on top of that, we also had a tornado. This was on Saturday, but I just want to throw it out there in case you did not watch our video from a couple days ago. We actually had a tornado sent in by Kurt Young back over in Oklahoma. This was actually in Oklahoma, over near Enid. It was a very brief and weak tornado, and I don't know if this actually got a rating, but you'd see the wrapping rain curtains, a little tornado that was briefly condensed. Pretty crazy stuff. I mean, this is when we had a bunch of flash flooding happening back over in Oklahoma City. And Ryan Scholl found a dog. What in the world?
You miss it?
Yeah.
I thought this was just a random dog. I guess it's this dog. We have had situations before where a dog literally will show up out of nowhere, just like literally out there, just like abandoned or just doesn't have a home. And some, like Freddie McKinney actually had that happen a couple weeks ago. He had a, there was a cat that he found a stray cat in a field. All right, this is apparently back over. This is a live shot back over in Virginia right now, one of the traffic cams. This is on I-95, mile marker 64 in Richmond, Virginia. Apparently, this is an area that we had a accident that has been backing up traffic, and that could be from all the flooding that we've had. That is a live shot back over there that we'll be keeping an eye on. But there was an accident down that interstate on I-95 near Richmond. Freddy has a cat now. I think he actually gave it to a shelter. He made a YouTube post about it. I'm pretty sure he gave it to a shelter. But W for rescuing the cat. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning in Nebraska. This will be for those in McPherson, Arthur, Grant, and Hooker counties. It'll be for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds, and then 2-inch sized hail will be a possibility. That'll should show up here in a second. So that's a storm southeast of Hyannis. That is going to be tracking the fairly rural areas here of these counties, but just northeast of Arthur, eventually going towards Tryon. If this storm can catch up to the boundary, there could be a tornado risk, but for right now, it looks pretty much just outflow dominant. Don't really expect it to produce anything tornadic here, at least in the near term. Also, this is over to Freddie McKinney.
Warm. Nice warm inflow right here. It's very warm. Very warm here right now.
It's north of Seneca, north of Thedford.
Surge kind of flowing in.
Storm is attempting
warm.
to cycle.
I know. So the outflow definitely hasn't shot past here yet. Still have some cumulus kind of working up in here. That tells me we're still pretty unstable at the moment.
Hey, Ryu for becoming a member.
Like right in here is where we would maybe have some sort of just broad. I think we have
Power
some
just went out in
broad
Lawrenceburg,
rotation
Indiana.
right now, but nothing. Obviously,
That's
down
interesting.
on
We
the
actually have some
surface.
strong storms west of Cincinnati right now. Bottom right of your
Let's see what
screen.
Andrew said here.
Might be producing some gusty winds.
All right, Garrett.
I'm going to, yeah.
Okay.
So that's Freddie on the storm again, just west of Thedford. It's kind of in an interesting spot right now. Again, it is behind the boundary, and it's also, we've had a lot of different updrafts going up here over the last half hour. You can see the boundary right here, and then this would be the area that we need to watch for a potential hook echo to develop again. Velocities on radar have looked fairly broad. They've gone a little bit tighter here over the last few minutes, but it's really not an area of convergence yet. It's just an area of, winds. I don't really see a whole lot right now happening, at least in the next 5-10 minutes, but maybe in about 20 minutes or so, this thing may become tornadic again as it gets closer to Thedford, which Thedford is a bit more populated. That's right next to our radar site as well here in central Nebraska.
This is that next storm.
Also, shout out to Roger with the Venmo donation saying, are you going to cover the tropical storm? Well, if we had a tropical storm, it is possible. If it is like a 45, 50 mile per hour tropical storm, I don't think we're going to go live for it. But if it's any higher than that, we'll probably be live covering it. So if something does form, again, it's still about a 40% chance. And I'm kind of losing confidence it's going to have time to even become a tropical storm. It's literally only going to be going for, maybe the span of like it's literally just too far north. I think unless the center somehow shifts further south over the next 24 hours. I think the problem with that tropical system is that it is just way too far to the north right now, and it'll be interacting mostly with the land. Also, we got a few more storms going up north of Minneapolis right now. None of these are currently severe, aside from the one east of St. Joseph, which that severe thunderstorm warning will be allowed to expire. We are keeping an eye on any storms near our cold frontal boundary for a potential tornado risk. These will be moving towards Frederick, just south of Grantsburg as well. And then just to the south and east of Duluth, we have a bunch of storms that have gone up here. This is where we are anticipating the flooding risk to increase over the next few hours. On top of that, there is still a chance for some damaging winds and an isolated tornado risk. Not seeing anything really rotating as of right now, but I do think, again, the peak tornado risk here, if we were to see one, will be sometime between 5 and 7 o'clock here, back over in both Nebraska, or back over in Minnesota and also Wisconsin. Back over in the southeast, just to the west of Tallahassee, we also have some severe thunderstorm warnings just west of Dothan as well. 60 mile per hour damaging winds currently happening near Ozark, and then also same thing happening south of Chipley. There's a wind damage report back over in Poplar Head, Florida, that there are reports of trees down in the area of Clayton Road. That is off to the west of Tallahassee. We also have a bunch of flooding reports still coming in back over along the East Coast. We'll continue to keep you posted with all these flooding reports as we are expecting a potentially significant flooding threat over the next few hours just outside of Richmond, Virginia. All right, let's go back over to Nebraska. And actually, first, we'll go back over to John McKinney first. He's back on the storms in South Dakota that are clustered together near Burke and Gregory. Also near Chamberlain.
I like all the languages. As long as it's clean language, I don't mind a little bit of foreign language in here.
W. That's a shelf cloud, though. Not really a whole lot left, at least from where he's at on that shelf cloud. That is the storm near, again, Gregory and Burke. This is going to be tracking towards St. Charles and Bonesteel in Fairfax with 60 mile per hour winds and ping pong ball sized hail. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, it looks like our storm north of Seneca in Nebraska is currently doing a little bit of a microburst action. There's a clear divergent signature on that storm. That means basically there's air falling from the center of the storm, it's hitting the ground and going out. We may be seeing localized wind values well upwards of 60 miles per hour. Microbursts are something that actually tend to produce a lot of very localized damage. So if you're in the severe thunderstorm warning, know that it may be a little bit more dangerous than 60 mile per hour winds, as there are enhanced wind speeds going on with this storm right now.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So a little microburst here just to the north of Seneca and Mullen. These sometimes can produce localized winds higher than 60, even sometimes 75 miles per hour. They can even be as high as, 100 to 120 miles per hour. Probably not happening here, but in some environments, we can actually see microbursts produce damaging winds way higher than just 60 miles per hour.
The Nebraska border.
This is back over to Ryan
Severe warnings
Scholl.
come up to the Nebraska border right.
Second. Ryan Scholl's on the storm again here, just north of Seneca.
Drove south of the highway.
Which again is a little elevated right now, but it is trying to catch up to the boundary again and trying to organize. This is the area to keep an eye on.
I'm just if this thing can recover. That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if this one cell can recover. If it can, it's gonna produce. But
you all know that the last EF5 tornado was in 2013. That was the last one. I don't know if we're ever going to see an EF5 tornado again, to be honest. Like, the criteria for it, like, we've had so many tornadoes that have been near EF5 intensity, and some of them debatably have been EF5 intensity, but just the way that everything's classified now, it's hard for an EF5 tornado to actually happen.
Appreciate it.
Or be rated that way. Thank you, Taz, for the $10 super chat.
That was an insane little
Don't
tornado.
forget to protect the animals. Totally agree.
That was pretty insane. That cell out to the west again. Still warned for that 2-inch hail, 60 mile per hour.
Yeah, low-key,
winds.
like, the next EF5 tornado, like, would literally, like, the way that the system works is that, the rating system is that we basically need an EF5 tornado if it were to have, like, if we're going to get rated in EF5, it would have to literally hit, like, a really,
5 more minutes
like,
until we
basically
actually
almost a
turn
city in a way. Like, that's how the system works nowadays. It never used to be like that before 2013. Like, there was a completely different rating system, but... Definitely an interesting debate. It's been a debate here for probably more than... I mean, it's been a big debate over the last 5 years, but even outside of the last 5 years, it's been a debate. Just become more and more frequent recently. Like, Rolling Fork was basically, on the edge of being an EF5. Greenfield, there's been a bunch. Thank you, Cat, for the $20 super chat. We even had a couple tornadoes in Arkansas this year that, were close to it. Are going to be able to go live for major flood events? I mean, the one way that we can go live for major flood events is if we have, like, a chaser or at least cameras in that area. Like, if that's the case, then we can definitely cover them. It's just hard to cover it if we don't have something that you can actually visibly see with the flooding. Otherwise, we're just looking at radar and looking at the flooding data and stuff. Or, like, river gauges. It's a little bit more limited. People react differently when you actually see something. Thank you, Milk, for the $5 super chat. South Dakota going to get bad?
If it definitely still...
I think South Dakota across the board will be mostly wind and hail. I highly doubt we're going to see a whole lot of a tornado risk if storms stay this clustered together. With that said, they just added a tornado possible label to our storm near Chamberlain in South Dakota. So that's interesting. We don't really have a radar view of that storm, but if there were to be a tornado, it'd probably be near I-90. But... otherwise, I think mostly wind and hail across the board here in southeastern South Dakota. Sioux Falls and Sioux City, you guys are not currently in any watch right now. But if storms are to move further down to the east and actually get towards you, I do think there is a chance of a severe thunderstorm watch there. Same thing with Omaha, Lincoln, Fremont. We're not really looking at severe weather, at least in the short term, but in the long term, if a line of storms forms, we may see this severe thunderstorm watch expand a little bit further to the east, but that's, again, still a long ways away. Again, Ryan Scholl is right underneath this storm here, north of Mullen and Seneca. Still not seeing a lot of rotation right now. It's been a little bit more disorganized. We'll have to wait and see if this thing can organize again. It's still pretty elevated. And then this is John McKinney.
Out that way as we...
back over in South Dakota.
Going to work our way down
Gregory.
to the... Look at that there.
Your
That
background
one's
looks different? Well, I am in a new studio,
Let's see,
so it is
keep an
different.
eye on that one.
Anything crazy in Iowa? Probably not. It's isolated damaging winds. This is the same cup I've been using for the last 3 months. I did have a different cup before, I think, May. But I've been using this cup for 3 months. Changing accessories, if you will.
I appreciate you guys enjoying this with me today. So please give the stream a like if you haven't.
This is interesting.
Already, and
It's got.
Back over to the south of Highway 2, southeast of Hyannis. We obviously have a huge hail core, but look at this hook echo. Just to the south of Hyannis. Again, it's like literally along the boundary right now. Just waiting to see what the velocities look like. This might be trying to do something. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere right now, but it is tracking down towards Tryon. But you can see the velocities. There's at least some broad rotation as of about 6 minutes ago. This is the 4:58 p.m. radar scan. So this may be trying to do something right now. Again, going down to the southeast towards Highway 92 and Tryon. There's a chance that Freddie McKinney's going towards that. But this definitely might be trying to do something here. It is, again, a discrete supercell, and it is definitely trying to organize. That one storm is along the boundary. So far, the storms here, north and west of Thedford, have been kind of getting really clustered together very quickly. And that's one of the things that we talked about. Again, the initial threat here over the next few hours will basically be discrete supercells, but it will eventually become more linear, which means damaging winds will become the dominant concern. So this area of storms will likely become linear here pretty soon, and that'll likely start to produce significant damaging winds. And also keep in mind with how slow these storms are moving, flash flooding, especially localized flooding, could become a concern. If we go over to the storm total precip so far, it hasn't really updated a whole lot yet, but it's already estimating a few spots near 2 inches of rainfall north of Seneca, and that number will really only increase over the next few hours. Also, echo tops on these storms, the one that's to the southeast of Hyannis is literally massive. It's at 60,000 feet tall. So this is a very tall supercell here, and then the one that's back over to the north of Seneca is a little bit too close to the radar site, but it's probably right around 55,000 feet or so if I had to guess. So, still a pretty tall thunderstorm, but the one definitely further off to the west is much taller, and there likely is a tornado here. We at least have a velocities couplet now. There's no CC drop yet, but there could be a tornado dropping here. It's over Kojil Lake, so it actually could even be a little water spout. But there may be something here that's dropping. It's definitely something that we're going to need to keep a very close eye on going down to the southeast. But so far, mostly damaging winds right now north of Thedford, but obviously that could change at any time. This is a view of our storm back over near Thedford from Storm Chaser IRL. There's also another storm going up just west of Thedford, another updraft. You can see that right there. Brand new updraft going up. Hey, Squimmy for the $5 super chat. This is also Ryan Scholl. It sounds like a teapot is on in that car. A little bit of scud there on the right.
Turning into an HP supercell here. This is not looking too. I mean, again, it is high precipitation, but it does not look bad at all. Okay, that couplet like immediately died, so this thing is starting to throw out a lot of CG lightning as well. So it's a good look.
Latest radar scan on this storm now that, oh, look at that cloud ground lightning strike. This latest scan northwest of Thedford is now indicating that velocities could be as high as 60 miles per hour. So we're starting to get a little bit more of a burst of damaging winds out of this storm. A little bit of scud there on the right. Also, that velocities couplet that we had southeast of Hyannis has weakened on the latest scan. We may try to cycle again.
Yeah,
it's
I
bottom
think it
right
might
of your
have
screen.
briefly produced and then kind of rolled itself.
That might have been
back
another
up.
brief tornado there.
So I don't know. This thing might
May have been our
really
second
gnarly
tornado of the
structure
day.
here eventually. You have a lot of new updrafts going up into this thing, so could get dicey here soon. Oh! Holy cow! Wow! Oh my god!
Joel's getting excited about lightning.
Bridging bolt!
How do I join the Discord server? It's linked in the description.
Zap,
How do I donate?
zap,
Links
zap.
are in the description as well.
Zappity zap zap!
This storm's producing, this was not producing like any lightning before, now it actually is. So we'll be heading to Thetford here in the next
Wowza.
15 minutes. Yeah, a little bit of a lowering there on the right.
Just incredible.
It's
right?
trying to organize. This is Storm Chaser IRL's view. That's another view of the storm.
A new tornado
Things
warning
really got to
has
start
been
going
issued.
alpha dominant.
All right, well, we now have a new tornado warning.
I think almost.
This one is in South Dakota. So this will be for Brule, Charles Mix, and Gregory counties in South Dakota. That's probably a storm here near Chamberlain. They are literally in a radar hole, so this is going to be very hard to tell what's exactly happening via radar. That is going to be near Lake Francis, going towards Platte Colony. So if you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter immediately. Get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. That is moving again to the southeast. This is Ola, Baiju Hills, and as well as Academy are included in this. 2 schools included in the warning as well. This storm, again, currently tracking down to the southeast. It'll eventually go towards Platte, Joubert, as well as the Guides area. That's, again, tracking to the southeast right now. I think John McKinney might not be too far from this area. Let's see. You can look at our little handy-dandy map here. And John McKinney is located south of the tornado warning. But that is our tornado warning just south of Chamberlain. There's actually one camera that is a little bit further off to the north. I don't think it really has anything right now. It's a little stationary camera. But yeah, seek shelter if you're in this tornado warning. About 400 people are included in this tornado warning. We literally have almost no radar coverage here, so it's going to be very hard to tell via radar if there's actually a tornado or not. Also, there's apparently over in Aberdeen, South Dakota, there are reports of, at least on 3rd Avenue between Penn Street and South State Street, that it is closed due to flooding. So a little heads up there. It's back over to Ryan Scholl. He's on our storm back over Nebraska that is west of
We literally need a
Thetford.
lightning rod right now.
That has a little bit of rotation maybe trying to develop now north of Seneca. Waiting for another velocity scan here. Thank Marissa for the super chat and Waco for the super chat.
That's an incredible looking storm right now.
Got a nice little shelf cloud there in the middle now.
That's incredible.
Will Texas stop seeing rain?
Kind of outflow.
I really don't see much. I at least now see an end in sight for North Texas, but other areas are going to have a lot of moisture still. I think North Texas is going to be drier
that other
over
storm's
the
now
next week.
outflow dominant, so I think it's going to be your best storm right now. Yeah, with the new updrafts it did. With the new updrafts it did.
Alright. Somebody asked you in the chat about Cambridge, Minnesota. Again, I don't really expect much there. I think it's mostly strong storms. Right now is really your ETA through the next few hours. There'll be some storms there.
Trying to latch. Really trying to latch on that.
If you look at radar right now, we got a lot of storms, obviously, in Minnesota and Wisconsin, but they're all basically behind our cold front, which is leaving them to be less unstable and also more elevated. So generally speaking, our damaging wind and hail threat is going to be lower across this area. But we could actually still see an isolated tornado. It's just going to depend on a storm forming along our boundary, which honestly looks pretty unlikely, especially with our storm motion being more west to east. So don't really expect a whole lot up there, but I think hail and wind should be the dominant concern. Again, I think our severe weather threat is actually a little bit later today for Wisconsin and Minnesota. It should be over the next 3 to 4 hours. Areas like Nebraska and South Dakota, it's honestly the tornado threat should peak within the next 2 hours, and then our wind and hail threat should also kind of be the same thing within the next 2 hours. Whoa. That is a crazy area of convergence that's trying to come together right now. Northwest of Thetford. Ryan Scholl's on this storm. You can see the velocities. They are crazy. They're now upwards of 70 miles per hour, so we are getting a huge downburst area of wind. This severe warning will likely be upgraded, and on top of that, there is at least broad rotation trying to come together here. There's at least some convergence that is trying to come together here. So this thing I don't think is done by any means with its tornado threat, but it is further to the north than before. You can also see the massive hail core here. This is definitely at least 2-inch diameter hail, so that's going to be heading towards Route 83 over the next few minutes. This is Ryan Scholl's view again of the storm, and I personally do think this thing actually might be trying to do something tornado-wise.
That storm south is rotating. We're gonna have to watch that as well. So many things happening today. It's so amazing. So amazing. Need it today. Need it today. Really need it today.
Hey, Timothy, for the $10 super chat. 4K
really
super stream? I don't know if we're ever going to do a 4K stream. I don't know if it really make a difference.
Got my hopes up about 4K.
Hey, Matthew, also for the super chat.
Yep. We're south of Highway 2 as well.
The alert system is proprietary, but
like merge in with what we have.
yeah, we just have it through like a software that we made.
That's a gorgeous storm right now. I think we have a new mesoscale discussion.
Somebody was asking about rotation in Wisconsin, and I don't really see a whole lot of rotation right now. We got maybe a little bit of broad rotation south of Drummond and Wright River, but nothing here that is enough for a tornado warning. Mostly just clustered storms right now. Also, we got some severe warnings going up in Wyoming right now with damaging winds upwards of 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail in the storm west of Riverton and also south of Pinedale. So definitely stay weather aware there. We still have a tornado warning again back over in South Dakota, south of Chamberlain. That is near Platte Colony, going down towards Platte. So seek shelter if you're in this tornado warning. Unfortunately, our radar coverage here is pretty terrible. There's really no radar sight here. So it's going to be very hard to see what's exactly happening in real time on this storm, but just take my word for it. Seek shelter in case something does happen here. This is going to be tracking down to the southeast. It is a radar indicated tornado warning. No reports on that storm as of right now. We also had a wind gust of 71 miles per hour reported over in Dixon, South Dakota about 30 minutes ago on this line of storms that is forming. That is according to the Deputy of Highways. There was a Mesonet that recorded that. That's a new update there. It's back to Shoal on our storm here near Thedford, which
cruising a lot of lightning right
again, maybe trying to ramp up and maybe produce another tornado risk here. See bottom right of your screen, the velocities have gotten stronger.
1,500 likes. I think 1,500 likes is a lot more reasonable in a sense. So
as Sholas alluded to, this thing's been producing a ton of lightning.
I think I need a NATO like actual costume. If there's gonna be any like storm chasing, like near, you know, around Halloween, especially.
Any update for Florida? Just a lot of rain today, a little bit of flooding. Aside from that, I'm really not expecting a whole lot of development for a tropical system today. It would have to happen tomorrow, and even then, it looks kind of like a low chance of actually happening.
That's a problem.
Waiting for another velocity scan and another radar scan, but I could see there being a tornado warning if this thing ramps up in the next scan.
Taco costume last year on stream, by the way.
Hey JD for the $10 super chat. Max Riley mods, everyone in the States, stay safe wherever you might be. And you're over in the UK and Ireland is having a good night. Nothing's probably happening over there. More Cladogrand lightning.
Wow, what a bolt, dude.
Max's hair looks amazing today. Thank you. I don't know why it looks like this for the record. It's like sticking up today for some reason. My hair looks different every day, I swear.
Way back in 2024, back in October.
All right, Shoal's behind a few hills right now. I do want to show you guys a really crazy photo. This was sent in by Brandon Hauk over on Twitter, also from Josh Palmer. This is from Alberta, Canada. Back over in Pincher Creek. 3 different funnel clouds, which is actually crazy. So yeah, that's pretty wild. Get a little retweet on this. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff again back over in Canada today. Also, Freddie McKinney is currently going down to the south. Let me go to Freddie McKinney. He's on the storm just to the southeast of Hyannis that's producing upwards of golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Got a little view of it.
Nico with the 10 months of membership. Thank you, Nico.
Kind of see it a little bit there, a little lowering in the middle of your
Yep,
screen.
Shout out the mod squad there. Thank you, Nico. Gotta love these hills, man. These hills make for some great viewing out here.
Thank you, Kevin, for the super chat.
Photography
The
when
hay
they
barrel
cooperate with you.
Hey, Barrel
Paula,
tornado
thank you
shirt
for the super chat.
as me, the talk of the town.
Thank you, Paula.
It's actually kind of funny. If you're popular because of the hay barrel shirt, that's wild. This is the latest radar scan, and again, we at least have an area of some convergence that's been trying to come together. The latest scan, though, really is showing a big surge of damaging winds right now, heading towards Thedford in Nebraska right now. Winds are being estimated around 60 to 70 miles per hour here. So again, this severe warning, I would support an upgrade to 70-mile-per-hour winds, and perhaps even up to 1.75-inch hail, which would be around the size of golf balls, moving down to the southeast. Further off to the north, our tornado warning continues in South Dakota near Platte Colony. Again, we don't really see much on radar here, but just seek shelter if you are in that warning for Platte Colony. Back over to the north and west of Minneapolis, we have a boundary, which is our frontal boundary, that is going to be pushing into Minneapolis here soon. And again, anything behind that is mostly just strong storms. And then also back over near Spooner in Wisconsin, we have a new severe warning with a tornado possible label. That is near Trago, going towards Springbrook. A little area, maybe a broad rotation there that's going to be tracking to the east over the next few minutes. So be ready for that if you're back over near Hayward and as well Springbrook. And then further off to the northeast, not seeing a whole lot, just a little bit of broad rotation in a few different select locations, but generally speaking, again, not really seeing anything too crazy in terms of our severe weather risk up there for now. All right, let's go back over to our Nebraska storm. Also, the storm near Hyannis, you can actually see the outflow boundary. This storm is outflow dominant, so it's going to depend. The tornado threat will depend on if this boundary can be caught up to, which as of now does not appear super duper likely. Back to Freddie McKinney on the storm near Hyannis.
It's pretty good.
So we got Freddie McKinney on the storm that is further down to the south of Hyannis and Nebraska,
Right
and
now
then
it's behind the
Ryan
boundary,
Scholl
though, that new
is on the other
updraft
storm,
going
which is
up
back
to
over to the north of
southwest.
Thedford.
Back there, so
Which that's what this storm looks like right now.
monster supercell. As soon as this merger completes, I think we're going to be in a little bit better spot. But who knows? And pretty low contrast in person too, so I can't really see much. Really need to send the merge, man. Because it's really blocking my view of it. It's so hard to actually see this right now.
When's Mr. Dibble gonna chase? Whenever there's like a decent setup in Wisconsin or anywhere up there in the Midwest. We haven't had really many setups that are like chaseable.
Lightning bolts.
Probably we'll have some in August, if I had to guess. I think we'll have some in August.
It's that if there's like a weird. Oh my gosh, this thing's throwing freaking Widowmakers. This thing's throwing a lot of lightning with this, and I mean a lot.
Minnesota gonna get a tornado? Probably. I mean, it's a there's a chance, but I think if we get anything, be on the briefer side of things. Bottom right of your screen of velocities on this storm. They have just issued a new severe warning for this for 70-mile-per-hour winds, which I agree with. It'll be for Thomas, Logan, Blaine, Hooker, and Cherry counties in Nebraska. That'll pop up here in a second.
Well, give me another bolt, man. Need one right on stream.
Shout out
Still
also
very
to
low
Catherine
contrast.
for the $10 PayPal donation. Appreciate that.
I think it needs some clear air.
Here's the new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be, again, for Thedford, Hasley, just west of Brewster. That'll be for 70-mile-per-hour winds and also quarter-sized hail. This is the area of rotation that we're keeping an eye on. It's really not rotating a whole lot right now. I think it's a little bit outflowy still, but I do think there is a chance that this may try to produce a tornado since it is moving more to the right again. That's how it was before when it produced its initial tornado. That'll be moving to Thedford and eventually going towards Hasley over the next few minutes. And this is another storm we're keeping an eye on, northwest of Tryon. I don't think it has much of a chance right now of doing anything because it is more outflow dominant, so it may struggle a little bit more, but the storm further west and maybe even this new storm that just went up south of Mullen may try to do something here as they continue to form. So that'll be something else we're keeping an eye on. Latest radar scan hasn't come in yet. We're a little bit behind on our latest radar scan. It should come in here in just a moment. The radar's updating about every 5 to 6 minutes. Also, another new severe warning. This is for Boyd, Holt, Kia, Paha, and as well as Rock counties in Nebraska. That'll be for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds and ping pong ball sized hail. That'll pop up here in a second. That is southwest of Mullen, I believe. How do we send you pictures? You can send them to us on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. Best way to send them to us. You can also send it on Facebook too. All right, that's actually the warning further north. That's just west of Butte, north of Newport. So that's the line of storms. That is what John McKinney is currently on, which we're going to put John McKinney bottom left of your screen. But that is the view of that storm right now, which looks honestly really blue. Let me actually go full cam to him for just a second. So he's underneath the storms here near Springview, Springview, Nebraska, which are very elevated. But this is the one that is now producing 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds.
Before I pop you over,
We just got a new severe warning back over in South Dakota. This will be back over to the west of Plankinton. That'll be for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Quarter-sized hail. There's also a tornado possible label on that. You can actually barely see the rotation in this tornado warning near Eagle. That'll be tracking down to the southeast, going towards 45. The tornado warning up here still goes for 20 more minutes. And we still don't have a new radar scan yet on the storm near Thedford. We are now officially 7 minutes behind on a new radar scan. So hopefully we get a radar scan on that storm here in a second. Back over to Ryan Scholl.
Real quick.
Back to Scholl in a second. This is Freddie McKinney on the storm near Hyannis.
It could drop a little further south.
A little bit of an inflow tail on the left.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Hey, Michaela for the 12 months.
I'm going to pull down.
Yeah, down,
slowly.
back
yeah,
there.
Yeah, right there.
It's
right
back
there.
there.
Yeah, it's right there. Oh, there's a nice shoulder up there.
It's back in there, chat.
All right, we got a new radar scan.
That's suspicious, Freddy. Not gonna lie, I got my camera zoomed in on that. That's a little.
New radar
that's
scan.
a big
just came in.
lowering.
It's just too steep here. I can't even pull off there.
Look, that's a big lowering right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna see if we can get a view where the shoulder is up here. It might be cooked though. Might have to go a little bit south. Ooh, can I pull up on that? That little.
Wow. This storm near Thedford is no joke. The latest scan is now showing velocities near 80 to 90 miles per hour. Just northwest of Thedford. This thing has gotten crazy. I don't even think it's really rotating right now. There might be a little bit of rotation there, but this is all just a big surge of wind right now that is going to be heading right into Thedford. This thing literally could be producing 80+ mile per hour winds right now. So just again, Scholl's view of the storm. It's almost undoubtedly going to get crazy here in a few minutes near Thedford.
This whole entire line of storms is about to get pretty interesting.
And assuming that this continues, it will literally directly hit Thedford. Assuming that nothing weakens that area of highest winds.
I have not.
The highest velocities scan here is showing 96 mile per hour winds, which again may not be accurate because it is, like 1 or 2 different pixels, but nonetheless, like we could have very high winds right now going right into Thedford here over the next few minutes. Wouldn't be surprised if they pulled out a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. Also, kind of interesting, we had a storm going up right over south of Mullen. We already got a lowering on this, I believe. Or is this might be the one near Hyannis. He's a big lowering, though, on the right side of your screen. You need to keep an eye on him. Also, John McKinney has some modest clouds at the very top of your screen. That's on the northern Nebraska storms. We also just got a new severe thunderstorm watch. This is back over in parts of Wyoming until 10 o'clock tonight. That'll be for isolated quarter-sized hail, up to 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds and frequent lightning possible. That includes Riverton, Casper, Buffalo, Worland, and Thermopolis, just south of Sheridan and Cody. So stay weather aware if you're in those areas. That is our third severe thunderstorm watch that is currently active. If you look across the country, we got 2 right now. We got those 2. We actually have 1 in Canada, and then we have 1 back over in Wyoming. Let me go back over to Ryan. Or this is northern Nebraska. This is near Mills. We're gonna go to Shoal here in a second. Bottom right of your screen, though, again, if you're in Thedford, Nebraska, I would be staying away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. We could have damaging winds as high as 80, maybe even 90 miles per hour going into town here in the next few minutes, assuming this storm stays as strong as it is. This is, again, that storm near Thedford.
Literally getting red right at the surface, so...
Wouldn't even rule out a spin-up tornado on the east side of the storm, too.
80 miles an hour wind gusts right now. This is getting...
Thank you, Tharcy for the $20 super chat. Another live stream. Thanks for all you do and keeping people weather aware. No problem.
You're talking probably upwards of 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts back in there, getting red. Yeah, I mean, upwards of 70 plus. Zach, Crazy World, look at that $50 super chat. Holy cow. Appreciate that so much. Thank you for filming that tornado, even though it did not land. It was amazing to see it live for the first time. It did land.
This is John McKinney's view. Again, of the that line of storms in northern Nebraska. A little bit better here of a view of the shelf cloud. It's actually above his head. Rain shaft there as well. That's producing up to 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds right now. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey, Max. So we talked a little bit about the radar indicating that we may have winds upwards of 90 mile per hour. I am inclined to believe that this is a 100% true reading. We're 379 feet above the ground, and there are multiple pixels that are showing this. So Thedford, you should be under destructive severe thunderstorm warning here soon. That will sound the tornado sirens. That situation is just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than a tornado warning.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So again, very dangerous storm right now heading into Thedford in Nebraska. We do believe that there could be damaging winds here as high as 90 miles per hour moving into the town here. So get ready. Again, there is even a chance for maybe a spin-up tornado as well on the east side of this, but I do think damaging winds will be the biggest concern as this continues to push down to the southeast over the next several minutes. So again, be in your safe place. That's away from windows. Put as many walls between you from the exterior as humanly possible. If you're in a mobile home and you have a sturdy structure, you want to be getting there as well right now. This is a very dangerous storm, again, tracking down to the southeast. This is a view of our storm near Hyannis again from Freddie McKinney, but not a whole lot of a view of that storm from this perspective. He's a little bit further off to the east of it.
Looked pretty good about 20 minutes ago. Now I'm not too sure. Got a good Mamadas display though overhead. CGs are really ripping over there.
We go back over to Ryan Shoal.
Eastbound here.
He's on the storm near Thedford.
Yeah, it's a very, very dangerous storm.
We should have another radar scan in a moment.
Heading into Hooker County. Very dangerous storm right now. We do need to somehow get out in front of it, or kind of let it come towards us as much as we can. About what time is it? Is it 5:31 actually? I have no idea what time it is anymore.
This is again central Nebraska. You're just tuning in.
Should be like 6.
Very dangerous storm right now, tracking down to the southeast.
Boundary kind of front of this. Those are some very strong winds.
Probably gonna have hurricane force winds in Thedford, if I had to guess.
Right near the radar.
Hey, Todd, for the super chat. PDS trees.
Literally just passed it too.
There aren't a whole lot of trees in central Nebraska. We've hit a little hotspot of those. Thank you, Candy, for becoming a member.
Yeah, pockets of 70 plus. Yeah, this thing's warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts right now.
Looks like Freddie
Oh,
at
yeah,
least
guys,
has...
or just to the right. It might be tucked in the rain.
Freddie has at least a little bit of a scuddy
Somewhere in there.
lowering there. This on the storm again to the
this thing has some
southwest of
rotation. In
Mullen.
fact, I do see
Very outflow. In my opinion, I don't think this has any
Further
chance of
back
producing a
in the
tornado. You
rain,
can kind of see the lowering
some
faintly
more
there.
scud. I think that's
There's almost
where
no
the
chance this
primary
actually
area
produces because of the
interest
outflow
is in
boundary just being
storm.
so far in
Hard
front of
to
the
see it 'cause
storm.
We're kind of far away from it here. So the contrast is just bad. I think it's in there.
Latest velocity scan now showing the highest area of winds is about to move right into the town of Thedford, Nebraska. Again, if you're tuning in from Thedford, you need to be in your safe place right now. We have a very dangerous area of storms moving right into your town here over the next few minutes. This will be coming up on the Hasley and also Dunning areas in central Nebraska as well. Also in northern Nebraska, we have 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds that are tracking towards Butte, north of Newport. This will continue to be pretty significant over the next hour or so as that continues to track towards Paddock and Spencer, so be ready for that as well. Really no difference between the two different storms here that we have. This one's just a bit more linear. The other one's obviously more discrete, but the wind threat is basically the same right now for both storms. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, I have an update out of Burlington, North Carolina, where we do have a considerable flash flood warning. It sounds like there is water across many of the main roads in the area, and over the past 30 minutes, we have received 8 different reports of high water and swift water rescues. So we said it a bunch of different times over the last few days with all of our flash flood warnings. These need to be taken seriously. There's still reports of rescues ongoing, so if you see water, turn around and do not drown.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. So yeah, back over here in North Carolina, there are radar indications as well that we've seen between 5, even upwards of 8 inches of rainfall north and east of Greensboro, North Carolina. So flooding is obviously a big concern right now. I would expect that this flooding concern will continue here over the next several hours as we have so many flash flood warnings along the East Coast. We are currently sitting at 19 different flash flood warnings. The majority of those are in the Mid-Atlantic right now. We have a few elsewhere, but not really anywhere else. It's mostly Mid-Atlantic right now where that moderate risk of excessive rainfall is in place today. Back over near Thedford, big surge of wind currently coming in. The tornado risk in the short term is very low. I don't really see a whole lot of rotation on this right now, but it is producing a major wind threat. So again, stay away from windows and be on the lowest floor possible if you are in this severe thunderstorm warning. Also, the tornado warning in South Dakota has been canceled. So just a heads up there, that is no longer ongoing. This is back to Ryan Scholl on the storm near Thedford. And thank you, Emma, for becoming a member. Ryan Scholl is currently located in about the... He's kind of come through the downtown area of Thedford now. He's traveling eastbound.
Right now. He's turning into an HP monster.
Max needs a stylist? What do you mean? My hair looks great. Actually doesn't look that bad. Thank you also, Brett, for the 5 gifted memberships. Really appreciate that.
If we...
Alright, Ryan Scholl's losing connection. We'll go back to him in a second.
Back in there's the wall cloud, and
This is
I would
Freddie
love
McKinney.
to be right up next to it, but the road network does not allow us to get all that close right now.
These are the storms that Freddie's looking at right now. These are southeast of Hyannis going towards Tryon. Stapleton, Sutherland, and North Platte will be in the track of this outflow dominant area of storms.
Good scud there, though. It's getting low.
A little bit of
Sure
lowering, though,
is.
there.
What? What did he say? What'd you say, Charlie?
To the wall, to the wall. Just run down these walls. Everybody crawls.
What did Charlie
Also, look
say
at this.
here?
This is John McKinney's view. Very ominous skies. This is a very elevated area of storms. So this is our line of storms back over to the north of Bassett that's producing 70-mile-per-hour winds and ping-pong ball-sized hail. We're also sitting at 17 severe thunderstorm warnings. Got Alex Russell there too, or Russell, I think. More of a structure shot more than anything up here in northern Nebraska. Much longer till it's Platte, South Dakota within the next 20 minutes. Biggest concern is damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. It's also Ryan Scholl on our storm near Thedford that's producing up to 70-mile-per-hour winds. Could still be higher than that. That's at least been a brief attempt at a tornado there near 83, but mostly wind right now moving to Thetford. This is pretty crazy. This is
suspicious lowering. Right?
This is really crazy. Look at the latest velocity scan. Near Thetford. This is on the northwest side of Thetford. This is next to the radar site. It is measuring basically near the surface winds around 80 miles per hour in a very vast area. So we likely have destructive damaging winds going right into the town of Thetford. There's also an airport, the Thomas County Airport, that is in the path of this. But again, a major wind threat right now is moving right into the town of Thetford, Nebraska. You need to be in your safe place, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible. Again, if you are in Thetford, this is a very dangerous supercell that is producing a major wind threat right now, tracking down to the southeast. We obviously have a big shelf cloud here, but all the high winds are going to be right in that storm right there.
But again, you're going to talk about some pretty damaging winds all the way back in that storm.
Also, the severe warning for Charles Mix in Gregory County, South Dakota has been upgraded with a tornado possible label. There's at least some broad rotation on that. Most radar sites can withstand high winds, so I don't think this one will have a problem, but there are occasional situations where they do not. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, we'll basically know in the next, like, few minutes.
That structure, it's all over.
Also, we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning back over northwest of Tryon near Arthur in Nebraska. That'll be for half-dollar sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. That is tracking to the southeast. I think the tornado risk is fairly low here. You can see the outflow boundary. It's pretty far out in front of these storms. If there were to be any storm here that tries to produce a tornado threat, it would be this storm here, which is tracking towards Tryon. And you can still see it's pretty much outflow dominant right now. And we'll have a new velocity scan at literally any moment here. Thank you, Brian, for the $20 super chat. Well, yeah, we'll probably work on that, actually, Brian. That's a good idea. I'm going to write a note of that. Yeah, we'll make something, hopefully, by the next stream for that.
Pretty freaking blue.
This is, again, near Thetford, where we have potentially 80-mile-per-hour winds coming through.
North Platte, I would be watching. Yes, you have plenty of storms rolling down near North Platte here. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
Once again, highest winds now are going right into Thetford in Nebraska. We have velocities actually even being measured near 90 miles per hour on the northwest side of Thetford right now, which is probably now in Thetford since the radar's been a little bit slow here. But yeah, again, you can see velocities pretty much all 80 to 90 miles per hour on the northwest side of Thetford. It will be interesting to see if we do get a wind gust measurement here back over in Thetford. Again, there is an airport that is here, so we'll have to wait and see if anything actually comes out of this area. But temperature right now is 87, dew point 68. This is again what the storm looks like in Thetford. A crazy looking shelf cloud, and then on top of that, all the wind's gonna be back in there. We'll see if Shoal goes into the wind or not. But at least for now, he's on the outskirts of the storm on the east side of Thetford.
There's some very, very damaging winds back there.
Hey, Ren Pie for the $20 super chat saying love the stream. Appreciate that. We are currently in Nebraska near Thetford.
I should order a Domino's pizza right now. I really should be ordering a Domino's pizza while I sit here.
Bro's gonna order a Domino's pizza, gonna get delivered right to his car.
I'm very tempted to ride the wind out right now. But I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do, especially with like no service.
Gusts might be pushing 100. It's hard to tell for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if the winds are at least 80 miles per hour. I'm still surprised they haven't upgraded the warning for destructive here, but we don't have anything inside of the storm right now, so we don't really know for sure. And more cloudy ground lightning, but we don't know for sure whether, you know, the winds are actually 80 plus. We believe they are, just based off radar.
I don't know if it would. Probably would.
Don't have anything officially measuring that yet. Fremont County, Wyoming, now considerable severe thunderstorm warning for golf ball sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Omaha, you're probably going to be fine. You might be having some large hail and damaging winds later on tonight, but Omaha should be okay for the most part.
Shout out to Scott with the $20 super chat. I'm sending you a designed Max Velocity shirts and hoodies to show you that my employees think you're doing amazing. Congrats on your degree. I joined the Marines for meteorology and the wrote in machine gun instead. Appreciate that, Scott. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Looking forward to that. Pizza Hut is better than Domino's. I'm not gonna lie, I've had like neither, so can't really give an opinion on it.
Definitely outflow dominant. I think that's pretty apparent at this point. That is a streak on my windshield that I can't get off. It's a streak on my windshield. I cannot get it off. There we go. It's gone.
Is Dallas-Fort Worth chilling today? You guys are chilling today. I think you guys are going to be chilling for at least the next week or so. Let's back over to Freddie McKinney on our storm to the southeast of Hyannis.
Is that you're in the Manassas clouds?
No road network to get right up close and personal to the storm, but they are a little bit further off to the east where the storm will be going. So we got a lowering there in the distance.
Yeah, no, see, I would say I'm the middle tier.
No, Gary, you're up in the stratosphere.
No, I'm middle tier.
You're stratosphere.
You're middle tier.
Stratosphere.
Or I'm middle
Gary.
tier anyway.
You're up in the. No, what's the tier above the stratosphere?
Look at this. This is John McKinney on the storm. About to turn here in a second, but he's in the Newport, Nebraska storm back over in northern Nebraska. Also has a huge shelf cloud. There's the shelf cloud there. Got like a couple layers to this shelf cloud.
So I mean, outflow's good if you want like damaging winds. That's for sure.
This is back over to
Yeah,
shore.
there's a, we got the whale's mouth right here. Here comes the out. Yeah, here comes the cold outflow. Here we go. I'm gonna move before we actually get hit. But
Joel is not going to punch into the wind, but he'll be moving. Crazy structure. And also on top of that, you can see all the, like, that little blue tinge in there. That is going to be some of the hail that's falling, and on top of that, the sun reflecting at a certain angle.
Here for
all the water droplets. Latest velocity scan showing the highest winds now in Thedford, still being measured at around 80 miles per hour. There is an airport in Thedford that should have an estimate of the winds here shortly, or at least a measurement, I should say, of the winds here shortly.
definitely
Very
could still see a
blue back in
QLCS
there.
tornado threat. Maybe persist somehow. Gonna have to move just that outflow boundary just crossed. Oh my god.
It's not gonna get a.
This is in Newport, Nebraska.
Until it's all fully.
We've just upgraded our warning in Douglas, Brule, Aurora, Charles Mix, and Gregory counties in South Dakota.
Instead of punching out.
That is going to be for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds, and then also a tornado possible labels on that. That is going to be this severe warning here. Just to the west of Plankinton, near White Lake, back through Platte, and also Platte Colony. We've had many measurements of wind between 60 to 75 miles per hour off to the west of where these storms are, and I would fully expect that we are going to continue to see high winds here as this line moves to the east, going towards Parkston, Mitchell, Armour, and as well as Lake Andes, and then also eventually going towards Sioux Falls in the long term, assuming this line of storms does stay alive. I'm low-key still surprised we do not have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for Thedford, but again, I would be treating this as if we have destructive damaging winds going to Thedford and Hasley, and eventually going towards Dunning, because we do definitely have very high winds here. We don't have an official measurement yet, but they could be as high as 80 miles per hour moving through the town. Also, this
Toward the
is
interstate on
Storm Chaser IRL in the storm just to the southwest, or southeast, excuse me, of Hyannis.
Ain't nobody around. Let's reverse this bad boy right into this spot. What the hell?
Got another considerable severe warning there in South Dakota.
Oh my God! Just heard on TV. They're for the All-Star game, they're talking about robot umpires.
Yeah, they are doing that today. Yeah, they're testing out the.
These could get better.
Oh,
structure.
John McKinney has a cow intercept.
Trying to get some better structure organizing there too.
Back over to Newport, Nebraska.
But
Cow intercept, and then we
Yeah.
got a big shelf cloud coming in.
Yeah, well, that's for sure.
nice contrast.
And
nice
hail
color.
core back in there. Got some nice colors.
Yeah.
Doing its thing. So I guess I'll head down to this highway and head east. So
Yeah.
post up and see what happens.
Yep. Sounds good. I'll do the same. I have to be a gas neck.
Also, Scholl is still on the storm near Thetford. He is actually
Kind of constantly here.
not moved yet from his position. The shelf cloud is now above him.
Get struck by the lightning or anything.
The highest winds are now in the town of Thetford, Nebraska. Then coming up on Hasley in about 10 minutes. Which again, could be as high as 80 miles per hour. It is an outflow dominant area of storms here.
Whoa! Big time. Big time. Big time. We're gonna have to move here. Let's go.
We need like a cow emoji in the chat,
We
honestly,
gotta go.
for members. Hey, Legion for the sewer chat. Oh, is that what Storm Chaser IRL did? Is that a Mickey Mouse voice? I only caught the end of it.
Funny thing is these will move real slow and then all of a sudden they just crank up and
Yeah.
you can hardly stay in front of them.
Right.
It's like something pushing some pretty hard outflow on the ground out there.
Yeah, looks like it.
Right out there, it's got some kind of a downburst going. Kicking up something on the ground there really hard.
Oh, apparently there are cow emojis on YouTube. I didn't even know that. Those work. We do have cow emojis.
Actually, there's a little action right there. You see where it's up above that.
Got a little bit of the outflow wind starting to pick up here. This is on the northern storms here, Ainsworth and Bassett, and west of Butte in northern Nebraska, producing upwards of 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds.
Giving us some fits here. Sorry about that, but up there we got something up above and then on the ground. Got a little action right there.
Any move from going to member? Welcome to Velocities. Also, Freddie McKinney has a view of our storm to the southeast of Hyannis.
Drier air
Got
that
a-
gets pushed.
Got a huge shelf cloud right there. This is bottom right of your screen now. See the outflow boundary. This storm honestly has almost no chance of producing a tornado at this point just because of how far behind it is to our outflow boundary.
Winds from the mid levels and sometimes.
Again, that is a huge shelf cloud there.
All right.
And Ryan Scholl right now is positioning on that Bedford storm, which is possibly up to 80-mile-per-hour winds. Thank you, Ross, for the $10 super chat. What about Omaha tonight? Isolated damaging winds possible. But I think the threat of severe weather is pretty low.
Cold air there. Okay. See if I can get the flies out. They want in where it's warm too.
We just got a new mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center.
On the side yet.
This is back over in Nebraska, and also South Dakota. So go until 7:45. Didn't really mention a whole lot on the left side of your screen, but they did say scattered large hail will continue in the stronger storms with an increasing potential for strong to severe wind gusts through 7 to 9 p.m. So again, we do have a lot, obviously, 2 different lines of storms now forming, so our damaging wind threat is going to get a lot more elevated in the near term as these storms continue to push down to the south and east across both Nebraska and South Dakota. So be ready for that. And so, yeah, other than that, they don't have any maximum, probabilities or anything like that. In their mesoscale discussion, they did mention that, let's see, I don't know if they said anything about a tornado threat. Let's see. Yeah, they didn't mention anything about tornadoes in the discussion, but they did just mention, again, wind threat will be elevated here over the next few hours as this line pushes down to the southeast. So that's generally what we'll be looking at.
Yeah, they all came pretty close. Big W, guys, for 1,000 likes.
It sounds like, to me, you got 1,000 likes? Let's go, guys. Garrett got 1,000 likes.
We do need to keep an eye on the storm bottom right of your screen.
Right,
this is a little discrete cell that just popped up out in
say
front of our outflow boundary. This right here popped up out in front of our outflow boundary. I wouldn't honestly be surprised once this gets to our boundary if it actually spins up a tornado. Not an imminent concern, but something to keep an eye on. We've had situations like this happen before where we sometimes get these little discrete cells that form, and occasionally if they get to a boundary like this one that's pushing south, they might actually have a little interaction where it tries to produce a tornado. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on just to the south of Thedford. So generally this area, very low chance over the next 30 minutes, but just to the north of Stapleton, west of Pasley. Also, the damaging winds have now moved through Thedford. That is now going down right down Route 83. So if you are traveling Route 83 between Stapleton and Thedford, be ready for damaging winds between 70 to 80 miles per hour as this area of storms continues to push down to the south. New severe warning just went up northwest of Sioux Falls. That's over near D. Smet, and also near Lake Preston. There's actually a little bit of rotation on this storm. They have put a tornado possible label on this, and then ping pong ball sized hail is also a possibility. This storm will be tracking to the east over the next few minutes. Also eventually going towards Arlington. We have a new considerable severe thunderstorm warning. That'll be on the storm near Thedford. They've not upgraded it to 80-mile-per-hour winds, but it is for 70-mile-per-hour winds for Thomas, Brown, Custer, Logan, Blaine, and Cherry counties in Nebraska. It is a big one. It is turning into a line of thunderstorms here near Brewster, north of Stapleton, near Highway 2. Dunning and Hasley are all included in this. So stay away from windows. Be on the lowest floor possible if you are in the severe thunderstorm warning. We had another PDS cow intercept in front of our storm here near Tryon. More cows.
I don't try to be as good as David, sorry.
Hey, David, for becoming a maximum velocity member.
That's scary.
Need a spam of cow emojis in the chat. This is back over to Ryan Scholl on our storm near Thedford as well, which has a large shelf cloud.
Still pretty good regardless. I'm not going to complain.
Hey, talk for the super chat.
I'm not going to complain.
Cow emergency. It's a particularly moo situation. They also Julie for the $5 super chat. Sioux Falls this evening, isolated damaging winds. Thank you, Wild Child, for the 10 gifted memberships. W's in the chat for Wild Child, really appreciate that. And also thank you, Creative, for the super chat.
Oh, what a day, man. Just what a day.
For some pretty looks. Now, there's one that's out behind us here.
Back to Storm Chaser IRL.
That thing could get its act together, maybe, quickly, but it seems like it's stuck.
All right, let's go back over to live radar. And one storm that we are keeping an eye on for at least a low tornado potential would be this one right here that is tracking right now up towards Thedford and Route 83. Again, you can see the outflow boundary very clearly on the storm near Thedford. So the tornado potential is very low at this point on this line of thunderstorms. But if we get anything that forms out in front of this outflow boundary, then we may see a tornado risk. At this point, though, everything behind it is very low to zero tornado risk. Back over in northern Nebraska, we got a swath of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that are approaching Butte, Spencer, Atkinson, and O'Neill, so be staying away from windows if you're in those areas. And then we have a large severe thunderstorm warning for Lake Andes, Armour, Marty, and Mitchell. That is 70 mile per hour winds that are pushing right now to the east at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. It is a fairly slow moving line of thunderstorms due to the nature that the storms are in an environment that just really not much pushing them. We don't really have much upper level, we don't really have a whole lot of anything steering these storms really anywhere. So that's why we've had so much flooding too recently. Jet stream's very weak aloft, especially in the Central Plains, which is kind of limiting the motion from being faster. Back over near the Twin Cities, we got some strong storms coming in right now. We actually got a little elongated boundary here. That is our front that is pushing through Minneapolis right now. And everything behind this front is mostly just strong storms. I don't have anything that I'm seeing right now that looks like it's imminent for anything severe. Mostly just looks like some isolated gusty winds and some small hail. And then everything further off to the north in Wisconsin is mostly clustered together now. Flash flooding risk is rapidly increasing, especially around and just to the west of Ashland. And then we may see an isolated tornado threat and wind threat, even an isolated hail threat for the next 4 hours here across our severe thunderstorm watch. Flooding continues back along the East Coast. We got a bunch of flooding reports coming in. Luckily, the rain is winding down in a lot of the areas that have been hard hit by flash flooding already today, especially near Richmond. Back over near Greensboro, we do have a considerable flash flood risk currently ongoing, where upwards of 4 to 7 inches of rain has fallen near Graham, Elon, Greensboro, and Summerfield. And maybe a little bit more rain to come, especially around and just south of downtown Greensboro. So be ready for that. And then one severe warning in the southeast. That one's south of Geneva in Alabama. That's going towards Caryville, Freeport, and Defiant Springs with 60 mile per hour winds pushing down to the southwest. There are reports over in Geneva, Alabama, that multiple trees and power lines are down from that storm. So be ready for that in the Florida Panhandle here over the next few minutes. So back over to Ryan Scholl on our storm near Thedford. See the large shelf cloud off to the left.
Very, very beautiful.
Hey, top of the $5 super chat. Go back over to Freddy here. See he's behind some trees. Freddy's on the storm near Hyannis.
Decent little shelf over here.
Looks like he's behind a hill. This is John McKinney. Only flat area. This back over in northern Nebraska near Newport. The storm's producing 70 mile per hour winds. Very ominous skies here.
And we're just east of Newport. Heading toward Atkinson and O'Neill. Might stop up here pretty soon, get a
We have an upgrade to our storm in South Dakota. We are now up to ping pong ball size hail on this large severe thunderstorm warning near Platte and Armour. The largest hailstone sizes would be just to the west of Lake Andes. That is going towards Armour and Wagner here over the next few minutes. There's also a boatload of lightning on these storms. You can see on the radar Omega lightning detection here, there's a ton of lightning anywhere from I-90 all the way back towards Bassett and Ainsworth. And so again, be ready for cloud to ground lightning. We've actually had a lot of home fires recently, especially along the East Coast with all the cloud to ground lightning that we've seen recently. We may even see more of that here around and just south of I-90. So be ready again for frequent cloud to ground lightning, and we may even have some little fires that start in fields. We actually had a field fire about a week ago also in Colorado. I think Vince Walty actually had a fire that started from cloud to ground lightning as well. So it's definitely something that has been very frequent here as of recently. All right, so far back over in Thedford, we've not yet gotten an estimate of winds, or at least a measurement of winds from the airport that is in town, but we should have that at any moment. The outflow boundary is very far off to the the east, and our highest winds right now are just about 5 miles to the southeast of Thetford. This will be coming up towards Hasley and Dunning over the next few minutes, so be ready for that as this continues to track down to the southeast. Let's go back over to Ryan Schull. He's now looking at the shelf cloud again back over near Thetford.
Costume tomorrow, not 1,000 unfortunately, but I would say 1,000 likes. I'll even no liking my own stream is not fair.
We have a whole cow. Everybody's talking about cows in the chat still. We have no cows visible on any cameras right now, for the record. What about Minnesota? Main concern, isolated wind and hail, low tornado risk.
Thank you guys. Oh, there we go. 1,000 likes.
All right, Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hello, Max. I was just going to give an update on what we're
My
expecting.
Elgato's not working. I don't know how to fix that. Wait, all right. Let me see if I... Let me know if you know how to fix it. It said no signal. Is there something I have to plug in? Wow, we're gonna look into that.
It's interesting structure.
Let me try this again. What?
Definitely.
It says no signal. That's interesting. That's a new one. Hey, you aired us for the $5 super chat. No, I know we're live, by the way. I know. I'm just trying to figure out why the screen capture is broken. It's very interesting. Oh, we're back to him in a second. Let me go back over to Schull here. Or did Riley dirty? Well, what Riley was going to relay something that would require the other computer screen to work.
Thank you for the amazing footage. Stay safe. Appreciate that so much. Thank you for that super chat. It is much appreciated. W's in chat for Constantine. A beautiful shelf you're rolling in the Sandhills right now.
Hey, Sam for the super chat. How's Omaha going to be tonight? I think isolated damaging winds is going to be the biggest concern. Was there a keyboard update? I got a new keyboard. I was actually able to return the other one. It was within 30 days. It was bought on Amazon, so W.
That's not bad. I mean, that's not technically bad at all.
Definitely a cool shelf cloud. But yeah, I do have a new keyboard. It's basically the same one, so got to get an emergency keyboard. What radar app do I use? We use Radar Omega. You can download it on iOS and Android with the top link in the description below. Hey, Evan for the super chat. You see anything major on Wednesday's outlook?
Stupid thing is being weird again.
I do want to briefly talk about tomorrow. We'll obviously talk more about it, you know, in our forecast. I think we're gonna have another forecast tomorrow morning, but if we don't for some reason, tomorrow's outlook is interesting. We got we got two different slight risks of severe weather in place. We got one over in the high plains, we got one in the Midwest. Marginal threat goes all the way from Colorado back into Pennsylvania. I do think we're gonna be live tomorrow. The tornado threat is not super high, but we have two more 2% tornado risks. So we've got one over in Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin, and the other one back over near Denver and also in southeastern Wyoming. So be ready for an isolated tornado or two. We're going to have a remnant mesoscale convective vortex from today's setup moving to the Midwest tomorrow, and that could spawn a couple of tornadoes, depending on the evolution, though, of that mesoscale convective vortex. We're going to have plenty of wind shear in place for that area, so it's definitely something that we are going to have to keep a close eye on. over the next 24 hours. And I do think, again, tomorrow is going to be a stream day, assuming the tornado risk does pan out back over in the Midwest. And at some point, we'll obviously talk about the timing, but I do think the majority of tomorrow's threat will be during the afternoon hours, so another daylight event. But basically, an elevated area of vorticity and spin will be in place, so it'll be something to watch for. It still says no signal. Give it a second to load. I got unplugged by my foot. Well, that'd be interesting. Your forecast in today's video is really on point today. Great work. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was pretty much exactly what we were kind of expecting today. It's all linear already. We got a few little cells that have popped up out in front of the line, but the tornado risk, again, is going to be dependent on those actually staying discreet and being near a boundary, and they've been kind of messy already, so... Tornado risk isn't super high anymore, but it's still there. It's just on the low side of things for now. It's back over to John McKinney.
Yes, looks like maybe a road here.
In northern Nebraska.
Yeah. Maybe I can get around the corner before. There we go.
Alright, give me 1 second, guys. I gotta find this plug. Alright, I unplugged and plugged it back in. Hey Keith for the $10 super chat. Plug for the new keyboard? No, it's not the keyboard plug.
Okay, give us a chance.
Alright, it's good now.
Out the,
Alright, Riley now has his update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, so now that my monitor works, we can talk about what's going on across both of our severe thunderstorm watches, actually all three of our severe thunderstorm watches. So the severe thunderstorm watch in parts of South Dakota and Nebraska, our threat here has basically peaked. The storms aren't going to get any more intense than they are now. In fact, the one that went through Bedford a little bit ago only produced wind speeds up to 46 miles per hour by the time it went through the town. We did not have 80 mile per hour wind speeds in the town, which is of course a really good thing. And this is as strong as we're expecting these storms to get. Minnesota, however, we are still on the uptrend side of things. Storms are starting to strengthen across this severe thunderstorm watch. We are actually almost out of the severe thunderstorm watch, at least in southern portions of the watch. So we may see a localized extension down here in this area to include places like Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Eau Claire in Wisconsin. And then in Wyoming, basically we have a bunch of different tiny rain showers that are actually producing severe winds. And this is more so because there's already severe winds in this part of Idaho and Wyoming before we even have convection occur there. So actually this convection is really only producing 10 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts, but we're already seeing 40 plus mile per hour gusts before there's even convection ongoing. This is actually why we're seeing some of these wind reports of 61 miles per hour. This is non-thunderstorm wind gusts that are causing these winds. So basically any sort of convection that we get in this area is just increasing the winds that we already have, and it's even stronger than what it is without the wind.
All right, thank you, Riley, for the update. All right, let's go back over to... This is the view, by the way, from Ryan Scholl. This is back over near Thedford. This area of storms has all become outflow dominant at this point. That is what it looks like now. All you really can see from this perspective is just the overshooting cloud tops that are all spreading out now.
You might need to stay inside all day tomorrow, so you don't die.
Hey, Ronald, for the $10 super chat.
Make sure you guys get structure. That's some weird shelf clad structure behind us. I'm thinking southeastern Wyoming, Cheyenne, Chugwater tomorrow. I feel like it's kind of the classic I-25 stuff.
This is very interesting. Apparently back over in LaSalle, Utah, there was at least an EF2 tornado. Apparently on the 12th. Because according to Giovanni Rizzotti on Twitter, there was a this right here. This is the radar imagery, but this right here would be the damage assessment toolkit survey here. Apparently, there was an EF2 tornado back over in Utah. This is apparently the strongest, or this is the first significant tornado on record for San Juan County in Utah. Also, the strongest tornado on record there. So that's some damage to a home. But wow, it's actually kind of surprising. Oh, this is a fire tornado. Oh, that's what it was. This is a fire tornado, and they rated it an EF2. That's actually crazy. I forgot. Yeah, there was a huge. I don't know if you guys saw the video. It was all over social media. There was a fire tornado in Utah, and that had to have been what it was from. That's crazy. It's like John McKinney has a little bit of a scuddy lowering near Stewart's in Nebraska. That storm is now warned for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. Have a view here on the right in a second. A little scuddy. I think it's mostly just scud. I think this is non-tornadic.
Problem is with these storms, there's just not enough inflow. If you're looking for...
Hey, Devin, for the $20 super chat. Thanks for your coverage in Callaway, 30 minutes southwest of Broken Bow. How are we doing?
Now they've...
I think you guys will be looking at mostly wind tonight.
Almost to a kneel.
Mostly wind tonight. It's a little bit more zoomed in. You can do this on Radar Mega too. You can get a little bit of a closer view of cities and towns that are included in certain risks. And you can see the hatched area here. That is where we could see damaging winds as high as 80 to 90 miles per hour over the next few hours as this line of storms organizes. We've barely even really entered into our hatched area for damaging winds here. So we are still ways away from the severe weather threat being done. But we could see significant winds even near North Platte or Broken Arrow. On top of that, this is our tornado risk, which is mainly going to be across... It's basically halfway done so far for our tornado risk area, where we may see an isolated tornado over the next few hours. Also, we just got a severe warning back over to the west of Minneapolis for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Tornado risk is pretty low out of this, but if you're back over near Chanhassen, Victoria, northwest of Shakopee, be staying away from windows as 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail are coming in. We also got a lot of storms going up over in Wisconsin right now with a lot of damaging winds. Not really seeing a whole lot of a tornado risk here, but damaging winds being the biggest concern. This is probably just contaminated, but there may be a slight bit of rotation south of Sanborn in northern Wisconsin that'll eventually go towards Ironwood, so that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, we'll have to watch this storm pretty closely. We may have a view of it on a camera, so I'm going to look and see if we have any cameras looking at it, but that's back over there in the Minneapolis area. It's back over to Stewart, Nebraska. I'm going to see if I can find any cameras here.
The extent of what we're seeing at the moment.
There are a lot of cameras in the severe warning. Most of them are looking at the ground, though. If we got any skyline views, though, we'll definitely pull them up. It's also going towards Eden Prairie, Minnesota, by the way, that storm. We just got a new National Hurricane Center outlook. Might as well quickly talk about that. Back over in the Atlantic, there's still a 40% chance of tropical development here over the next 48 hours. Back over in the northern Gulf, this is a system right now. It's Invest 93L that is moving over the state of Florida, and it is bringing the potential for flooding rainfall today. But by tomorrow, there will be a potential even for maybe this becoming a tropical storm as it moves into the northern Gulf. It is about a 40% chance. Not super confident it's going to happen. This is what it looks like on infrared imagery right now. And you can kind of see the area of circulation. You can actually see the spin very clearly. It's right over basically northern Florida. The problem is it is very far to the north, and so it may not have much time in the Gulf to actually form into a tropical system. But nonetheless, it is something we're keeping an eye on. Most models are not even putting this in the Gulf for really any period of time. So if this were to happen, the flooding risk would be much lower in Louisiana. And on top of that, the potential of this becoming an actual tropical system would be much lower as well. Here's also the Invest 93 model guidance in terms of the intensity, and basically only one model right now gets this a tropical storm intensity. So as of now, it does not really look likely it's going to become much of anything, but obviously we'll be keeping an eye on it. We have a warning sign. Apparently there's a fiber optic line there.
Clear out here in the middle of nowhere. We got fiber optic.
Whose fiber has ever been cut? Let me know in the chat. Has your fiber ever been cut? My fiber got cut, which maybe not be able to go live a month ago. For one of the Midwest days that we had of severe weather. '92 New Hampshire today. It is hot in the Northeast today. Got a little heat wave here, but it is summer. I mean, July 15th, we do typically at least start to see some 90s in the Northeast. Also, this is Ryan Scholl on the storm near just southeast of Thedford now in Nebraska. Maybe. There we go. It's a storm near Thedford. It's all outflow dominant now. You can see the outflow boundary. It reaches very far out in front of our storms here.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Yeah, I think, well, I'll probably go to like north.
Is the fiber cut? Yeah, my internet was out for like 16 hours.
That's where I'll be getting my food.
One of the longest internet outages I've ever had.
Yeah, no grocery stores, no nothing. There's nothing ever out here. Ever. We get to drop south on a random road in the middle of nowhere.
Hey, Monica, for 3 months. Love the new setup, new lights. Lighting is not really actually new. It's just, it's a different angle, so it looks a bit different. But we may actually end up, like, obviously it's a little bit darker on like the right or left side of the wall here. Might end up having that be, might end up having the light just take up that entire area back there. Right now it's just angled differently.
It is a beautiful shot. The fact
Hey,
that
KP for the $20 super chat.
Sandhills makes it a
Any
lot
weather
better.
for Nebraska City tonight? Check out Nebraska City. There might be some isolated damaging winds, but that'd be really about it. I think the severe weather risk is much lower over there. Have I ate any cheese curds yet? But this is kind of shocking, but I've not actually had cheese curds in at least a month. May shock a lot of you. I literally have not had any cheese curds in literally over a month. It's been a long time.
Now it's a race south because this thing's
We're on like a
outflow
record-breaking streak right now.
dominant. This road kind of sucks too, but it's whatever.
Hey, time for the $10 super chat. Actually, I'm lying. Apparently, I actually forgot. I haven't had cheese curds from Culver's in over a month. I actually did at Buffalo Wild Wings like literally last week. I forgot about that for some reason. Hey, time for the super chat. Can you do a rain dance for Southwest New Hampshire? Refuses to rain here. If we could like share the rain amongst all the other places that we've had flash flood emergencies in, like have that be spread out in a large area, that'd be way better for everybody. There's also Storm Chaser IRL. This is near Tryon and Stapleton. Little shelf cloud there out in the distance. And Ryan Scholl has a good shelf cloud now here near Dunning. What is a cheese curd? It's basically a fried ball of cheese.
Yeah, pineapple on pizza? Who wouldn't want pineapple on pizza? Pineapple and jalapenos, by the way. Scrumptious on a pizza. I'm weird, but it's fine.
Wow, look at this. This is from John McKinney. Got blue tinge back in the clouds over here near O'Neill in northern Nebraska. Shelf-clad mania today.
Yeah, the winds are pushing.
You shout out to JD for the 35-month membership. 35 months is a long time. Is August going to be a quiet month for severe weather? It's usually quieter. Not always, but a lot of the time it is quieter. I do think the beginning of August, the very beginning, will be active. End of July, early August does look to be a bit more active. After that, it usually gets a lot quieter for severe weather. And then we shift our focus to hurricane season a lot of the time.
Travis, you didn't miss. I don't think you missed anything. Anything other than what you're seeing. However, our storm is looking a little more maybe a little more juiced on our as far as the hail core.
Are out of season hurricanes possible? They are, but they don't happen very often. It's back over to central Nebraska, north of Stapleton. Hey, Don, for the super chat, please ban all pineapple on pizza people. Hey, Ryan Scholl apparently likes pineapple on pizza.
Give me a good spot, please.
I do think we're running out of time for this tornado risk in Nebraska. I think everything's becoming outflow dominant.
Perfect.
I think our tornado risk is really brief.
Perfect.
Wisconsin and Minnesota remain to be determined, but
Let's go.
Nebraska's definitely become a lot more of a wind threat here. It's a very brief tornado risk that we had.
Wowza. Looking beautiful shelf right now.
It's kind of surprising because we literally had a supercell that latched that boundary west of Thedford. Got a new severe warning for Fremont, Wyoming. That is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball-sized hail. That's this storm right here, which actually looks kind of crazy on radar. That's near Hudson and Lander. That hail core right there. Just south of Effete and southwest of Riverton. .287 will be in the path of that. That is a really big hailstorm, though. The echo tops on this storm are going to be hard to come by because we're a little bit closer to the radar site, but probably right around 50,000 feet. So it's a pretty tall storm, right around 50,000 feet tall. Thank you, Doug, for the 5 gift memberships. Really appreciate that. Also, thank you to Brian for the super chat. Possibly moving into Florida in the fall. Nervous about hurricanes? I wouldn't be too nervous. As long as you're prepared for it, you're good. Honestly, if you're near the beach, that's really the biggest concern. And then obviously inland flooding can be sometimes a big concern, and then high winds. But a lot of the time, it's not as bad as what it could be. Like even Milton. Milton was bad, but it was mostly the flooding that was bad. So as long as you're prepared for flooding, and if you're on the beach, obviously you gotta be ready for storm surge. This is Invest 93L, by the way. It's literally sitting southwest of Jacksonville. The area of circulation is so far to the north right now. It has been literally moving so far north and out. It almost has. It's getting to the point where it almost has no chance of entering into the Gulf at this point. So, yeah, I don't know if this thing's actually going to develop into anything. It's definitely struggling. We do have a severe warning, by the way, in Florida. That's back over near Mary Esther, near Valparaiso. That is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That is moving to the south right now. It's back over to Ryan Scholl on our storm near Thedford, Nebraska. Big outflow boundary. This outflow boundary corresponding to where the heaviest rain is, or even the leading edge of the rain, is about 8 miles out in front of it. So you can see
what for like
at the very top right of your screen. That is the leading edge of our shelf cloud, and then about 8 miles is where you have to go to the northwest to actually get to the rain. You can see how dry it is here. There's no rain falling, no rain shaft or anything. So this is very outflow dominant at this point. Hey, Jessica, for the 14 months. Appreciate that. Appreciate you being a mod. also John McKinney back over in Stewart, Nebraska.
The Storm Prediction Centaur. Let's see. They've got it enhanced out. Severe thunderstorm watches. I think they've extended.
How's northern Minnesota look right now? Mostly just rain. Anything. If we go back over to Minnesota, you can see our frontal boundary that has now moved through Minneapolis. But anything north of Minneapolis, for the most part, will just be gusty winds and small hail. There's a low chance of severe weather. Excessive rainfall obviously becoming a big concern with all the storms that are training in northern Wisconsin right now. There is a low tornado chance, but it would, again, a storm would literally have to latch to our boundary here for there to be a tornado. And none of them have done that so far. So I think generally speaking, the tornado risk is pretty low. And this severe warning just outside of Minneapolis goes for 3 more minutes. Don't think they'll continue it, but they may at least issue a special weather statement for Shakopee, Chanhassen, and just southwest of Minneapolis. Let me go back over to Wisconsin real quick. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything rotating. We had like a little brief area of rotation south of Sanborn. That's definitely browned out. So yeah, just a lot of rain right now, a lot of storms. Nothing severe though. Thank Valerie for the $5 super chat. Chicago suburbs tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's interesting. I was actually looking at this. This is tomorrow's future radar. I pulled this up a few minutes ago, but this is what it looks like for tomorrow. So we're gonna have a remnant mesoscale convective vortex from today's setup, and that'll move into the Midwest tomorrow. We could be live tomorrow. Storms will probably start to fire up right around 1, 2, 3 o'clock out here in the Midwest. May see an isolated tornado or two out of these storms as they move towards the Chicago area. And again, the biggest concern initially will be the threat of large hail, damaging winds, and an isolated tornado. This will likely become more linear as it approaches Milwaukee and Chicago by around 6 to 7 o'clock. And then by 8 to 9 o'clock, those storms move over Lake Michigan and then into western Michigan as a line with still some isolated damaging winds. And then overnight, we may see some elevated storms form back over in the Central Plains with some hail and wind being a possibility, but the tornado risk out of that would be pretty low. And then back over in Colorado and Wyoming, we have another chance here for an isolated tornado or two tomorrow, right around 4, 5, 6 o'clock. If anything stays discreet, there will be an isolated tornado threat, but mostly looking at large hail and some damaging wind gusts. So that'll be interesting to see how that evolves. Yeah, tomorrow has a low chance, not a low chance, but at least a medium chance of going live, especially with population density in mind. Also, we got some attempts at mammotus clouds over here in Bedford. And Freddie McKinney is now coming up on the big shelf cloud here in Stapleton.
4. Type 1 if yes, type 2 if no. And then Garrett, sorry.
Type 1 if yes,
no. I was going to say
no.
was the...
I wonder what he's talking about.
The sponge on the...
That's the wrong button. Let me do this. Freddie... It's back over to Storm Chaser IRL as well. He's near Stapleton. You got the large shelf cloud there.
That was awesome.
Should do monthly updates on Enzo. Could do that in videos, maybe like the end of forecast or something like that. Maybe once a month. Be kind of cool.
We get a clipper? Somebody let me know if they're clipping.
Do you cover Canada? We do sometimes. We only really cover Canada if it's like something like we're already live for something. Shout out to Devin with the $20 Venmo donation. Me again, cheese curds on me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Devin. Where's cheese curd? No clue. Not in here. Not in the studio.
shot it, but I think I can still get it. There we go. Here's a road.
Hey, Tuckle for the super chat.
Place we can
Nice hair today, thank you. I don't know why my hair looks like this
pull
for the
over
record.
a little bit and examine our
It
storm.
looks, I don't know why, like it's literally sticking up at the front and that's not supposed to be happening. And I'm not gonna put the effort in to fix it.
Get out and do a storm check. Still got the outflow here.
Shoal is underneath the shelf cloud. That's not Shoal.
Now you're talking, Charlie. What's
Shoal's
up,
underneath the
Davis?
shelf cloud again here near
Davis.
just southeast of Thetford.
Yeah, we're gonna get south of this here. Hopefully. Literally still sitting right underneath the shelf, man.
And he has lost connection. Oh, nope, he's back. I think Freddy might have a view here in a second.
Oh my
Yeah, we'll go back to John McKinney. John McKinney's near Atkinson and Stewart,
The
Nebraska.
more severe back there.
Damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. We do have a considerable severe warning in South Dakota still, back over near Mitchell for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds and a tornado possible label on it. It's actually interesting because it is bowing out a little bit just south of Stickney. You can actually see it bowing out a little bit. Little inflow notch just southwest of Mitchell, and this is kind of the hook. So this is an area that we need to keep an eye on for at least a low-end tornado potential going towards Parkston, Parker, and then that would eventually be going towards Sioux Falls in South Dakota. Also, further to the north near Arlington, we've had many storms go up here, and the one near D-Smith was rotating a little bit. It still has a tornado possible label on it. There's also a little bit of rotation near Willow Lake, and there's also a little bit that's tried to form near Lake Preston. That's that right there, just around and south of Lake Preston. Basically a stationary storm, but a low chance of an isolated brief tornado here on the northern spectrum here of our severe watch, just north of Sioux Falls. So definitely be watching out for that. But again, I would say right now the more concerning tornado risk, if we were to see a tornado, would be this Boeing segment here that's going to be moving into Mitchell and then eventually going towards Sioux Falls. So definitely something that we need to keep a close eye on.
Here. If you look over here, you can see
Introduced them and they mainly hit a fish.
This is Ryan Shoal. Underneath the shelf
bread
cloud
pudding,
here.
heck yeah.
Bedford.
There's not much going on, so might as well make
Back down to
bread
6
pudding, right?
severe thunderstorm warnings.
Might as well.
One of the lowest numbers we've had
We
in quite
live
some time on a
until
live
7
stream.
o'clock Central Time. So, sit back and enjoy the ride here. Sit back and enjoy as much as you want. Yep, all the storms are going to slowly fall apart. That's why we're only going to be live for another 25 minutes. That way I can go to like North Platte, grab food or whatnot, and chase tomorrow and get in position. It's not that because I have Starlink. That's why I'm confused why I've been dropping. Dropping the.
It's sunny where I'm at in Minnesota. W.
That's why I'm confused, but it's whatever.
What it looks like on satellite right now across the entire country. It's actually pretty sunny in southern Minnesota. That's like the one place that has sunshine. It's right before that cold front's going to come through. Let's see the storms go up. Let me go to Central Plains here. Let's see this. Actually, we'll do Northern Plains view. These are the storms that have gone up over the last few hours back over in Nebraska and South Dakota. A little bit of a loop, and here's the Midwest. Obviously, the storms have gone up pretty fast in the Midwest, and also they're not moving much right now. That's why we have more elevated flooding threat, especially in northwest Wisconsin. And this one looks like in the southeast right now with Invest 93L. You can faintly see it as the sun sets here, back over in Florida. Deep convection, though, over Florida. Been trying to become something tropical, but with it being over land, it's probably not going to do much. It will likely struggle. We no longer have any severe warnings in Minnesota. They have continued this as a special weather statement near Bloomington for gusty winds upwards of 50 to 55 miles per hour. Tornado risk again stays low in the Midwest. We really don't have anything near our boundary, which means that the tornado threat should stay low. Everything's going to be kind of on the more elevated side of things, I think, which means the tornado threat should stay, again, very low to zero for the rest of this evening. We still have a severe watch, though, in effect for the next 3.5 hours. That goes until 10 o'clock Central Time. And then our severe watch in the Central Plains goes until 11 o'clock. That is because we again have a huge line of storms that is currently forming with damaging winds as high as 60 to 70 miles per hour. The highest winds are in South Dakota. The storm that is southeast of Thedford now has winds down to 60 miles per hour. That's going to be coming up into Stapleton here very soon. And obviously Shoals underneath the shelf cloud, which is that outflow boundary that you can see on the bottom right of your screen. That's the white line I'm drawing. And so that is what he's underneath right now. He's about 10-15 miles to the southeast of any sort of rain. Hey, Antone, for the super chat. At least don't be Hurricane Milton. Not wrong about that.
Road's getting a little windy. I don't know how the great. I don't know if you guys
We have shame. We do not have any shame right now.
Shell for a second. So just give me a little bit here.
Alrighty, so got about 700 people. It said there for a second in here. So where's everybody watching from right now? See a lot of different names. I recognize some of the names as new viewers. And by the way, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the channel. If you're new, subscribe, and I would appreciate you joining in on future live streams and videos. I've got a number of videos that I'm going to be working on. I'm wanting to push out. One of those is the Sand Hills.
It's got a new considerable severe thunderstorm warning
going to post
with a tornado possible label on it. That is going to be back over in South Dakota. I believe it's going to be an extension to this warning that we have ongoing. This will be for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds, quarter-sized hail, and there's also a tornado possible label on this in southeastern South Dakota, heading towards Parker, and Olivet, Salem, and Alexandria, and Yankton. So Tyndale, Yankton, Olivet, get away from windows, lowest floor possible. This is a considerable threat, again, of damaging winds currently tracking to the east, going eventually towards Sioux Falls. So this actually might make it to Sioux Falls, for the record. Put it on the future radar here. Yeah, the future radar does have this line of storms making it to Sioux Falls around 8 o'clock or so, and then tracking towards Sioux City. It'll be a lot less intense by the time it gets to Sioux Falls, Sioux City, and Omaha, but nonetheless, there could be some isolated damaging winds here over the next few hours. It'll turn into one big line of thunderstorms. Heat map? We're about to do a heat map.
A number of chases where
It's also Storm Chaser IRL's view. He's also on YouTube. This is view of the storm again near Stapleton. Big outflow boundary, very ominous skies. Really, again, no tornado risk left with this line of thunderstorms at this point.
No, we didn't break anything. We were testing stuff.
Right side of your screen is where the storm actually is.
Do you guys listen, like, to what's going on? Like, Desert, I literally heard Desert over the stream say, turn off the main audio. So that should have been...
Hey, Cad, for becoming a member. Welcome to Velocities.
I was gonna have no sound.
All right, heat map is on. If you guys want to put your location in the chat, you can put your location in the chat. If you already did, you have to say it again because it wasn't on. Thank you, Cat, for the 5 gift to memberships. Appreciate that. You gotta get to membership. Make sure to thank Cat in the chat. Yeah. If you already put your location in the chat, you gotta do it again. We'll do a little heat map. See where everybody's tuning in from.
You want to see the rear? Molly Aces, this is not the right place for that.
And also, line up from becoming a member.
We are on the rear. We should have like a little text in the top that says butt cam. Kermit's butt cam.
Also, this is
with this windbag.
Brady McKinney's view of the shelf cloud.
Yeah, it's not looking too bad.
Nice little windbag here, guys.
Only one I remember was Helene, yeah. Yep, Helene, DL was there for I had to miss because I had a sister getting married the night before. Ari, welcome to, or thank you for being a member.
You were what? Oh, wait. Hurricane Charlie.
Hurricane Charlie?
I didn't know that.
I do remember that name.
Back to live radar. I'll have the heat map here in a couple minutes. But again, line of thunderstorms continues here across the Central Plains, just across the board right now. We're looking at 60 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds. The tornado risk, again, as I've already mentioned, I think it's pretty much over, at least in the Central Plains. There isn't really much of a chance. I think the one place to keep an eye on for at least a low tornado risk would be back off to the west of Sioux Falls, where we do have a bowing area of thunderstorms here. It's bowing out, got a little bit of a push here, and then also a little bit of an inflow coming back into the area of storms. So we may see an isolated tornado threat going in the direction of Bridgewater, Alexandria, Parkston, and then eventually tracking into Sioux Falls. We also have a severe warning in place still for DSMIT for the next minute. That one's about to expire. And in just a moment, I think we're going to be back down to about 5 severe warnings. So we might only have 5 here in just a second. Or 30 seconds away from being down to 5, I believe. And we still have a big hailstorm in Wyoming, just to the southwest of Riverton, coming up into Hudson and Lander. That is currently producing golf ball-sized hail and 60 mile per hour damaging winds. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey, Max, on this storm that's heading towards Sioux Falls, we did just receive a 77 mile per hour wind report out of Corsica. This is currently warned considerable for 70 mile per hour winds, but this will be upgraded to an observed destructive severe thunderstorm warning.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So that's near Parkston, Tyndale, just south of Salem. We could have damaging winds as high as 80 miles per hour moving towards Sioux Falls. So be ready again for very high winds as this line of thunderstorms continues to track to the east here over the next 60 minutes or so. And again, Sioux Falls, you guys still got a little bit of time. Let me get the ETA on this. We're at 6 severe warnings, by the way. This is moving east at about 35 miles per hour. So if we use a little radar Omega tracking tool, we can track this out to Sioux Falls. And we'll put 38 on here. And so that's going to be approximately in Sioux Falls around 8:45 to 9 o'clock. That's the general time frame. So actually about 8:40, 9 o'clock. Sioux Falls at 8:44, it says, if we estimate 38 miles per hour. So, and again, you can use this little tracking tool to track out storms also inside of the Radar Omega app. You can download it with the top link in the description below. That is the app we're currently using. We also have a new severe warning near DSMIT, Arlington, and Lake Preston and Esmond, back over in eastern South Dakota. That'll be for 60 mile per hour winds with a tornado possible label on it and a little bit of quarter-sized hail. Got a few little areas of weak rotation just to the south and east of DSMIT that are pretty much stationary, that are currently tracking down to the south. There's also a little bit of very broad rotation southwest of Carthage, but I'm not too concerned about that as of right now. I'm not seeing a whole lot of rotation right now in this line of thunderstorms, but again, this would generally be the area that we're watching for an isolated threat of a tornado. So, continue to keep an eye on that. I'll have the heat map here in a moment. Oh, here it is. For everybody wondering where everybody's tuning in from today, it's actually pretty diverse today. We got a lot of people tuning in from Minneapolis and Chicago and Milwaukee, Lincoln. Those are some of the more common areas. And then this is another little map, a little bit more zoomed in. Lincoln, Omaha, Des Moines, Chicago, Cincinnati. some of the hot spots here. People tuning in, but literally Minneapolis, believe it or not, is the main location today. Nebraska is not. We hardly have anybody tuning in, at least in the enhanced risk, other than North Platte. So, pretty interesting little map here. But Lincoln, Omaha, and Sioux Falls, those are the 3 hot spots outside of the enhanced. Obviously, Minneapolis too, but definitely interesting. Show Europe. We don't have international maps on this yet. Also, we do have a special weather statement now that will replace the severe warning southeast of Thedford near Brewster, Stapleton, Broken Bow, Callaway, and Taylor. So that'll be for gusty winds. Obviously, we've already shown this, but we do have obviously have a shelf cloud on this storm that is literally 10 to 15 miles out in front of our storm. So the threat of severe weather with this, in terms of even damaging winds, is much lower with how outflow dominant it is right now. So
keep her going. It's a very, very cool looking storm right now. I'm pretty happy with what we got.
that is the shelf cloud. Literally no rain anywhere to be seen here.
I don't know how much longer we go on
the edge of our outflow boundary. Hey, John from becoming a member, welcome to the Velocities.
I think we might actually be able to stop for a little bit. No freaking way. I think we might actually be able to stop for a little bit. Car, shut up. You're fine. Little Mr. Complain too much.
This is located near Anselmo in Nebraska.
Look, about another 10 minutes on the stream here.
Here from Lincoln, Nebraska, it is sunny and hot. It's going to be that way probably until a little bit later tonight once that line of storms gets to you, which will probably be after sunset, so sun will probably be out the entire time. Hey, Lucy, for the 28-month membership, really appreciate that. Also, this is Freddie McKinney. He has a pretty good view of the shelf cloud.
General, hot take, Quick Trip chicken tenders are goated.
Apparently they're talking about
Hot
chicken
take,
tenders.
I've never
That is a
had
shelf cloud on the
Quick
left side of your
Trip,
screen. This is near
chicken tenders.
Stapleton.
Neither have I.
I'm always a little suspicious of gas station chicken, so. But I think Quick Trip is one of the nicer gas. I would try a Quick Trip chicken tender. I don't know, chat. What do you think? What do you guys think? Do you think Cane's chicken is good or mid?
We should do that poll in the chat too. What do you guys think?
Hey, give the super chat there, Lightning Wolf. Yeah, hopefully Eli gets well. We'll apply that to the ibuprofen fund. Hopefully he gets better here soon. We miss him.
Good, mid. I think it's like decent.
Yeah, but see, I
just have my Pookie in the car.
I thought we were all Pookies.
Oh, you don't understand, Garrett.
Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, we have an update from Durham County, North Carolina. From Gorman, there's actually not a flash flood warning for this area, but they did just report a 10-foot wall of water has made its way through on the USGS stream gauge over the last hour. So that's now a minor flood stage for the area. It does look like the water will start receding soon. I believe what's going on here is this is water draining from flash flood warnings further to the west, but there was a little bit of a debris flow and a 10-foot change in water levels over the last hour.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So that's back over in North Carolina, where flooding does continue.
I agree. They're
today across the East Coast, and even more flooding is possible again tomorrow, which obviously we'll talk more about that in tomorrow's forecast.
But
literally a non-stop train of flooding.
I don't have
Hey, Joshua, for becoming a member, welcome to the Velocities.
You don't have the sauce.
Like the one time I had Canes with up when we were on our way to South Dakota last year, when you got pulled over.
I get pulled over.
Yes, you did.
Wait, South Dakota.
Yeah. On our way,
Yeah, officially for the 4 months.
Houses, right?
Yeah.
Is it a chicken tender if it's not from a gas station? Bro, who gets chicken tenders from a gas station?
My license He never gave
terrible.
it back to me.
Yeah, he never.
And I never thought about it.
I don't know.
'cause he
I
gave
don't
me
know of
my
a single
stuff,
gas
my
station that I've had
license
chicken
wasn't
tenders
stopped.
from that's actually
So
been
I drove
good.
all the way to Alex's. And then when I got up the following morning, I was like,
Only place is Wawa, for the
No, we
record.
got to the
I have
hotel.
had chicken tenders from there
And
before.
she's
They're not
like,
terrible.
Can I see your license? And I'm like,
It's the only
yeah,
place.
here's my license, because we were staying across the street from Alex, up in Watertown. And I gave the lady, I was gonna give her my license. Like, wait a second, where's my license? Do you remember that, Garrett?
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't have my license. So then I had to explain to the lady at the front desk that my license was at the sheriff's office in I don't even know what town that was, but it was at the sheriff's office.
Got a new severe thunderstorm warning in South
Following
Dakota. This is back over to the west of Madison. That is for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds, half-dollar size hail. There's also a tornado possible label on that. So we now have a slew of severe warnings that stretch approximately 165 miles from just southwest of Clear Lake, South Dakota, back through O'Neill, which Clear Lake is the general area where we had a couple large tornadoes just a couple of weeks ago. So not an area that we are unfamiliar with at this point.
You're afraid of the chicken sauce?
Yeah, because I don't like mayo.
Still talking about chicken.
You know, I'm not a big fan of Thousand Island necessarily. I mean,
Garrett, if we go by a Cane's tomorrow, we're gonna have to get you some Cane's sauce. You're gonna have to try it out.
you know, there's some things that I'm just like afraid of trying things, but I need to get out of that. But I'm just like, sometimes I'm afraid of trying it because I don't know if I'll like it. So I just don't want to dump my food all over it, because then it's like, oh, if I don't like it, then it's like, okay, now
Yes,
I gotta.
join me on my chase tomorrow. I'm purposely going to be going out of my way to get Cane's.
Actually, that just might be the whole chase tomorrow. Maybe we'll just go to Cane's. What if we just streamed it live?
But see, I don't
Just went to
always have
Cane's?
ranch with my chicken either. Sometimes I like my chicken plain.
If the chicken's really good, like
Chick-fil-A chicken tenders, I don't need sauce for that. Because that's just, they just have a different taste in them. To me.
Have you never had Quick Trip
Like
chicken tenders? I don't think I have a Quick Trip in Florida. I've never seen one in my life, I don't think.
Like Culver's, I
don't think
like
I've ever seen
Culver's
one
with
in
ranch.
general.
So I don't mind Culver's with the ranch combo because I like the ranch. Arby's chicken tenders are pretty good. I don't necessarily mind their ranch.
I don't like Arby's chicken.
You don't like Arby's chicken?
No, not really. I really don't like Dairy Queen chicken, I'm not gonna lie.
Dairy Queen, you need something to dip Dairy Queen chicken in.
See, but this is the difference, right? Okay, you need something to dip Dairy Queen chicken in, but dude, Dairy Queen chicken is like 50 times worse than Cane's chicken.
Oh, I agree.
Like, if you know what I mean? Like, I know DL hates Raising Cane's, but
You know
Raising Cane's, even though it doesn't have a lot of seasoning, the chicken is really good quality.
What do we think
It's
about
nice,
the chicken at
tender,
Dairy
Well,
Queen?
you know what?
What
You
do
would,
we think?
a Dairy Queen in Texas, you will have to try it.
What do you mean Dairy Queen in Texas? They do a different
Yeah,
different
they
chicken?
have something called steak fingers.
What, steak
It's only
fingers?
native to Texas.
What is it called again?
Steak fingers.
Is it just steak?
It's like it's not necessarily chicken tenders, but it's like kind of like.
Bro, Dairy Queen gives you like all these
Yeah, look
sauces
where
they can
we're
choose from for chicken,
Yeah,
and
no,
none of them
we're
are
right
ever
now.
good.
We're right on the bounty. We're riding the wave. Look at this.
If you like a zesty queso sauce, it's not zesty. It
said
literally tastes like
steak,
terrible
though.
cheese.
Steak fingers. They're pretty good.
Apparently, a storm just
You
popped
get
up
them
right
at
for
like
Freddy.
a fast food joint.
They have
Well, yeah, Arby's,
what else do they
not
have?
Arby's, Dairy Queen.
They have other
Only
random
in
sauces too,
Texas.
but like it's just
They're
all so
only in
mid.
Texas.
Real.
The chicken and
Yeah,
fries
I
literally
didn't
taste
know
like
that-
Texas-
theme park food. Literally, I feel like it tastes like theme park chicken and fries. Some of the worst I've ever had. Also, this is a video sent in by Shanna Faye on Twitter of the shelf cloud rolling in Kaler, South Dakota. If you have any photos or videos, you can send them to us on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, I have another update out of North Carolina where our flash flooding continues. We had another stream gauge near Monticello raise 13 feet in the last 3 hours and it's still rising. We do have a considerable flash flood warning for this area. It's that little square off to the northeast of Greensboro, but they are noting that there may be even worse flooding here. An already considerable flash flood warning is in effect, but that may be upgraded, it sounds like, depending on reports that we have from other waterways in the area.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So again, major flooding continues back over in North Carolina. Definitely stay safe there. Back over near Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Burlington. And we still have a slew of flash flood warnings in Virginia. Luckily, the rain has, for the most part, been winding down. We still got a little bit of rain between Charlottesville back through Lynchburg, but at least in the southeastern quadrant of the state, things have gone a bit quieter. Anyway, HC for the $5 super chat. I just hope the chickens stay safe from these storms. I don't know, man. Don't know. Don't forget, by the way, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Also, like the stream if you've been enjoying the stream so far. Once again, if you're not already, also make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, at MaxVelocityWX. You can also join our Discord server, which is linked in the description below. Chester's Fried Chicken. I've never even gone to Chester's. I've also never been to Casey's, for the record. Try some Wingstop. I've yet to try Wingstop. I'm going to have to try it at some point. I've heard a lot of people say, you got to try Wingstop. I do have to at some point. No clue when that's going to happen, but at some point I got to do that. Back over to Freddy. We'll see if what food they're ranting about now.
Garrett, you gotta try a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. You gotta do it. Dude, their spicy chicken sandwich is like, it'll change your life.
Oh, yeah?
You'll become a new man after eating a Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich.
Really?
Yep. Pretty good outflow here, honestly, though.
Yeah, good outflow.
We're getting pushed pretty good. And it's actually, interestingly enough, we're kind of
Big shelf
out
plow on the left
ahead of
still.
shelf,
Back over
but
near
the
Bedford.
actual outflow is pushing beyond where the shelf plow is, so it's like beating. Isn't that kind of weird?
It is.
Wouldn't you think it would usually be back, kind of back behind it?
Oh, someone said Jack in the Box in the chat. Where's DL at?
I've
Ain't no way
never
anybody
been
likes Jack in the Box.
DL
For the record.
loves some Jack in the
I went
Box.
to Jack in the
Never
Box
been to
once.
Jack
It
in
was
the
so
Box.
mid.
Someone said Wendy's. No. Do you
DQ
know what?
fries are usually mid unless I think they're just always mid. Personally.
Wendy's is good. Oh, what's that burger called?
The flamethrower.
No.
Chicken Guy at
oh,
Disney
the
Springs.
Dave's,
Chicken Guy is actually really
whatever.
good.
Oh, wait,
For the
that's
record, I've gone to
DQ.
that location. It's so good.
The Dave's double, Dave's single.
No, not the Dave's.
Baconator.
The Baconator.
I know my Wendy's menu.
Wendy's is good. Their Baconator is really good. I like the Baconator. Although, see, I get my protein style without the bun. So I don't need that extra gluten.
That's actually
Never heard
a
of
valid
Wingstop?
decision there. No
But
bun is a bold
It's a bit of a
call.
chain.
I get
I think it
ice
is, at
cream
least.
instead, so it counters, I guess.
But you're kind of making room for the ice cream.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I mean, unfortunately, I have to go bunless.
Huey Magoo's is also good. It's
Bunless
underrated.
Is better for,
Has anybody ever been to Huey
Listen, a
Magoo's?
lettuce-
I think that's also kind of like I think it's a small chain. I think it's at least in Florida. I know that. I've been to one before. I don't know if it's like that big of a chain though. I don't think it is. Opinions on Burger King? No. That's my opinion. Buffalo Wild Wings? Buffalo Wild Wings is kind of mid. It's alright. It's a bit mid though. You can actually see on the Radar Omega Cyclone port, which you can watch these inside of the Radar Omega app if you download it with the top link in the description below. You can actually now see a little overshooting cloud top now at the very top of your screen. That is from the storms that have developed over the last few hours in central Nebraska. John McKinney has some interesting little twirl above him in Atkinson, Nebraska right now. Look at that. It's like spinning above his head.
This is what goes on under the whale's mouth. That's down
Thank you, Karen, for becoming a member.
The whale's mouth goes clear over here. So we're underneath it now.
Right out of McDonald's. It's 9 ahead.
And we got some pretty cool formations over there. Let's head over there and look at that real quick. Let's go look at it. Let's see. Haven't read much of the chat lately, just driving constantly. Sorry about that, but okay, so Storm Chaser Patrick is
All right.
Pineda.
That was interesting. A little bit of spin though there. That's back on in Nebraska. Again, if these storms were an outflow dominant, we'd definitely have a tornado risk, but everything's just gotten so outflow dominant here across the board. I generally think the tornado risk everywhere is very low. There is a little bit of like maybe broad rotation near Carthage in South Dakota, but doesn't still look that imminent. And then back over in Wisconsin and also Minnesota, the storms going through the Twin Cities, mostly just gusty winds. I don't see a tornado risk here at all. And honestly, again, even the damaging wind threat very low. And then back over in northern Wisconsin, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Hayward, Chief Lake. That is for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. This right here is just contamination. Don't really see a whole lot of a tornado risk right now in northern Wisconsin, but it does remain on the lower side of things near Ironwood, Phillips, just to the northwest of Rhinelander. So that's the area that we're still keeping an eye on. This back over to Freddie McKinney with the big shelf cloud in Nebraska.
Get a view of this thing.
Apparently, there are wasps again at the Bank of America Stadium. I haven't really seen any yet, but this is a live shot.
We're approaching Myrna.
In North Carolina again. Apparently there are wasps here. This is one of the radar mega cyclone ports as well. Don't see them yet, but we might have a wasp alert over at Bank of America Stadium. Thank you, Karen, for becoming a member. We're going to keep an eye on this. There's no way. Apparently there are a few, though. ETA when the storms will reach Sioux City, Nebraska. Or Sioux City, Iowa. Probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock if I had to give you an ETA. 8:30, 9:30. Somewhere in that range. Main concern, again, being damaging winds. Tornado threat should stay really, really low down there. Alrighty, well, the tornado threat's much lower now. Again, I think the main concern for the rest of tonight will be damaging winds across the board in both the Central Plains and the Midwest. So best thing to do tonight, just make sure you have ways to receive alerts and have a tornado action plan ready to go in case there is another tornado warning, which I kind of doubt at this point. Maybe a low-end chance of one somewhere around Sioux Falls in the next hour or two, but it does look like a lower chance. It's mostly just a line of storms producing damaging winds. So again, have ways to receive warnings, protect loose line items, do all that sort of good stuff, and you'll be fine tonight. Same thing in the northern, or in the upper Midwest. I think the main concern at this point is just damaging winds. The tornado threat.
A new tornado
is on
warning has
the
been
side of
issued.
things. Well, there's a tornado warning. Go figure. All right, we have a new tornado warning back over in Minor County, South Dakota. And I believe it's this storm right here. Good little jinx right there, if you will. This is, again, brand new tornado warning in South Dakota. Or Minor County, it is this storm. So that's near Howard, Villas, Roswell, south of Carthage. So if you're in this tornado warning, seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. A little area of convergence there heading towards Howard over the next few minutes. So that'll be tracking to the east. Don't have any cameras in this area, but skies are obviously ominous. This is actually a, at least a camera view from Mitchell, South Dakota. This is just a little further down to the south. Not really a whole lot of anything there, just a little bit of a shelf cloud in the distance. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. This tornado warning does go for another 24 minutes, so until 7:30. So again, main area of rotation. It's broad right now, but it's on the north side of Roswell. It'll be moving to Villas and as well as Howard in a few minutes. The main location is Howard, just to the west of Madison, northwest of Salem. And this storm currently tracking to the east-southeast. The closest person to it is John McKinney, but he's in Nebraska. How's tomorrow looking? I think tomorrow will be mainly an isolated tornado risk and wind threat back over in the Midwest. I think we'll be live tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see, but I think we'll be live tomorrow. Tomorrow does look like a stream day to me, but we will see. Should I bring my cats inside? Yeah, probably. Would be a good idea. Latest scan has broader rotation, so not nearly as much red going toward or away from the radar, which would be your winds going away from the radar. Going towards the radar, still got a pretty good little RFD surge here. It is kind of a little semi-discrete supercell. It's kind of embedded in just a bunch of storms here. But rotation's pretty broad as of right now. Outflow boundary is right about here, so it has really a very short window to produce a tornado. But tornado wind, at least for the time being. Elsewhere, we still have broad rotation to the west of Arlington. Same thing near Lake Thompson. There's still at least some broad rotation tracking to the east right now. I'd be surprised if we got a tornado warning on the storm near Arlington, but it's very broad right now. It would at least have to intensify a little bit further. Do we have a new mesoscale discussion? Look. Also, Freddie McKinney has a pretty good view of the shelf cloud there. It did, at least for a second. Back over in Nebraska. This is also John McKinney with very turbulent skies. At the McDonald's. Over in Atkinson, Nebraska. About 1,000 people, by the way, are inside of this tornado warning. We'll stay alive as long as this thing at least has some rotation on it. So at least broader on the latest scan, just northwest of Howard. Those are nice gas prices. What were they? I didn't even see them. Got a new considerable severe thunderstorm warning in Idaho. That's interesting. Over in Idaho. We don't really cover Idaho very often. That's Franklin, Oneida, Bannock, and Caribou and Bear Lake counties in Idaho for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds. Latest velocity scan still showing broad rotation just to the northwest of Howard. In my opinion, I'm at least seeing some divergence of our winds going away from the radar, which usually means we're looking at more of a damaging wind threat here. Outflow boundary looks to be right about here. We're obviously a bit further away from the radar site, so there's at least some radar hole here, but there's at least some broad rotation still. A little bit of lightning as well. We've at least had some frequent lightning on this storm.
The Slim Shady remix.
It's back over to Freddy.
I did. My chat heard me, but I don't know if they. I thought your chat would have heard too because I got the mic on.
They probably heard it, yeah. The mics hear everything. Quite literally.
I usually have a few malfunctions per chase, I guess. Which is true, I guess.
Nothing like a little glitch every once in a while. Everybody glitches at some point. Garrett's actually AI.
I am robot.
He needs a firmware update.
I need software update.
This live shot is in Nebraska. The tornado warning again is near Howard, South Dakota. We're just waiting for another radar scan.
Will you give me update?
I know, Connor. This storm's absolutely cooking right now. Nice special weather statement here. Sorry to make you jealous. I know you wish you were up here.
Freddy's having a great day. Like 15 miles away from the South Dakota tornado warning. It's a pretty rural area, generally speaking, but there are towns. I mean, like we covered obviously Gary, that Gary tornado near Clear Lake. Those were also fairly rural areas, but like we were really close to having potentially catastrophe in Gary if that large tornado that we had over like about 2 weeks ago now, if that entered into the town of Gary, it would have been literally catastrophic. So let's go, Matt. $2.50 in North Dakota. What's everybody's gas prices? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious. Apparently it's $2.50 in North Dakota. Latest scan still broad rotation northwest of Howard. Going to be coming up into the town of Howard in a few minutes. So again, if we have a tornado, it'll be going into the town of Howard, South Dakota within the next 5 minutes or so. You need to be in your safe place now if you are in this warning. John McKinney has a pretty cool view here in Atkinson, Nebraska. Some turbulent skies once again here.
There we go.
Apparently it's 309 in central Ohio, 450 in Washington, 459 in Michigan. Is it really that expensive? 49 in Northeast Illinois. Wild.
But I did not like the lifestyle.
Hey, Henry for the super chat. $3.50 for gas in Montgomery County, Maryland. Surprised how expensive it is in Illinois, though. I'm not gonna lie, and Michigan. Still got broad rotation west of Arlington, also in South Dakota. Little discrete cell here. That's going to be going to Hetland and Arlington in a few minutes, and then still broad rotation over Lake Thompson. The rotation in this tornado warning, still on the broader side of things. As of now, it is continuing as a tornado warning here for Minor County, South Dakota. They just updated the warning polygon a little bit smaller. Roswell and Velas are also still included in this until 7:30 Central Time. So continue to stay in your safe place away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. Y-59 in Honolulu. Well, yeah, Honolulu and Hawaii in general is usually expensive. $2.62 in Central Texas. What's the lowest gas price that I saw in chat? I've seen it down to $2.50. Apparently North Dakota's $2.50. I've seen Texas, like Austin, even down to $2.60. $2.59 in Morgantown, West Virginia, too. They just expanded our severe thunderstorm watch. This now officially does include Sioux Falls in South Dakota, Dell Rapids, Canton, Hartford, and Parker, and Vermilion are all included now in this watch. So the severe thunderstorm watch has expanded. As we've alluded to, we have a big shelf cloud that is rolling down through Broken Arrow. The storms in Nebraska, though, generally speaking, have been very outflow dominant. The damaging wind threat is definitely on the lower side of things. It's mostly going to be gusty winds. Got a few storm chasers inside of the Radar Omega app as well that are tracking these storms. And again, if you download Radar Omega with the top link in the description below, get access to watching these live storm chasers and the live cameras inside of the Radar Omega app. You can download it with the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. This is the latest scan on our tornado warning. Still broad rotation right now, northwest of Howard. Do not think they're going to continue this as a tornado warning, but I wouldn't be shocked if we got a tornado warning at some point on one of the two storms back over near Arlington or south of DeSmet. It's going to come down, though, to these actually intensifying. I don't think it's intense enough yet for a tornado warning, but may see a tornado warning at some point. How can I be a storm chaser here in the Florida Keys? Get an airplane. That's what you need. You need a plane to fly in the storms, which I don't think is legal. It's literally what you need. Otherwise, you're driving 8 hours just to get out of the state of Florida. I'll have another radar scan in a second. This radar site, by the way, is updating every like 2 minutes. So, W radar site. And latest scan doesn't really show much of anything. I would be really surprised if we had much of any rotation left at this point. I think there's probably a little bit, but generally speaking, the rotation's gone a lot broader over the last few
A
minutes.
new tornado warning has been
And
issued.
we now have a tornado warning in Wisconsin. All of a sudden, we're up to 2 tornado warnings. So I believe this one's going to be the one near Draper. And it is. So that's going towards Park Falls and as well as Fifield in northern Wisconsin. So if you're in this tornado warning, seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. So this storm currently is tracking to the east-southeast right now. Main area of rotation is going to be right over the northwest side of Draper. We do not have a debris signature right now, but it will be moving into the town of Draper within the next 5 minutes. Park Falls and Fifield will be next in line for this. I still think that Nebraska tornado warning is not nearly as concerning. This one includes about 4,500 people. So a little bit more populated here. This is from our line of thunderstorms that is currently moving to the east-southeast. Didn't expect that in Wisconsin. There is a 2% tornado risk up here. And this is right along the leading edge of our line. I don't really see that much rotation. I think this right here would be the area to look at. Like this over here, these are winds going towards the radar, but this would be the couplet that we're looking at. That'd be right there. It's a pretty small one. It's right over the northwest side of Loretta and Draper. Outside of this in northern Wisconsin, it's mostly wind right now. We've had some attempts at rotation further north near Ironwood, but nothing's really been successful so far. By the way, this tornado warning goes until 7:45 Central Time, so a little bit longer than the other one. Sus hour strikes again. I guess we've hit sus hour. All right, we'll have another radar scan on our Nebraska tornado warning here in a moment. Still watching broad rotation west of Arlington as well. So we'll have another radar scan here in a moment. And latest scan, again, I don't really see anything on this tornado warning anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if they just cancel the tornado warning here in South Dakota. I don't know if I just said Nebraska, but South Dakota. If they can, they'll probably cancel that tornado warning. Broad rotation continues over Lake Thompson, South Dakota, just northwest of Oldham. And then west of Arlington, there's also a little bit of weak and broad rotation there. That is currently tracking to the southeast. We've also had some little weak spin to the west of Alexandria, south of Mitchell, but it's mostly just a wind threat, in my opinion, going towards Sioux Falls right now. Damaging winds still up to 70 miles per hour, and frequent lightning will continue with this line as it moves to the east. Latest radar scan still showing rotation right now to the northwest of Draper. No tornado debris signature as of right now, but rotation's going to be moving into the town of Draper over the next couple minutes, and then Park Falls and Fifield will be on the path of this in about 15 minutes. Continue to stay in that safe place if you're in this tornado warning. This is once again for Ashland, Sawyer, and Price counties in South Dakota. Will there be tornadoes in the southern Twin Cities? I don't think we're going to see any tornado threat around Minneapolis tonight. I meant to say Ashland, Sawyer, and Price counties, Wisconsin. I don't know if I said Nebraska. I meant to say Wisconsin. We just got a new radar scan on reflectivity. Should be on velocities as well here in a second. This is the area of interest right now. Latest velocity scan, a little bit contaminated, but this is the area of interest. Again, very strong wind still going away from the radar. Still got an inflow as well out in front of this, so there's still a possibility this drops a tornado as it moves east. We also have a large severe warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds and a tornado possible label just to the south and west there of Ironwood in far northern Wisconsin. Several flash flood warnings also in effect, including a considerable one back over near Drummond, which is where we've had several inches of rainfall out of these storms over the last few hours. This is the storm total precip. We've had upwards of 6 inches of rainfall back over to the west of Drummond. There's been quite a bit of rain here over the last few hours. Even in the other locations, there's been around 4 to 5 inches of rainfall. Max needs to hire a stylist. Why do we keep talking about my hair? It's not even that bad. I don't know why my hair's sticking up like it is, though. There's a line of non-severe storms still going through Minneapolis right now. They will be winding down here in the next hour. You can see the boundary here. That right there is your front that is now pushed through Minneapolis. All the storms behind it just strong with some gusty winds being possible, but nothing else really expected. Maybe some small hail as well. Did have a wind gust over in Ashland, Wisconsin at 52 miles per hour at the airport earlier today. It's the only wind report that we currently have in Wisconsin. Tornado warning continues in South Dakota for the next 8 minutes. I still think they'll probably cancel it because there's really no rotation left here for Howard, just south of Carthage. And then broad rotation continues back over in Lake Thompson. This is very slowly moving towards Oldham in eastern South Dakota, just to the west and southwest of Arlington. Got a new radar scan coming in. We'll wait here and then we'll go back to Wisconsin. Pillsbury dope boy looking hair, bro. What? Scan is showing broad rotation near Lake Thompson still. Really no rotation in our tornado warning. So I think, again, the tornado warning in South Dakota will be allowed to expire. We are in a bit of a radar hole here in Wisconsin, so it's going to be pretty hard to really get a good gauge on this rotation. But I don't really see a whole lot of rotation. I think it's fairly broad right now. I think there's just enough for there to be a tornado warning. But again, winds going towards the radar, not looking too crazy. There's definitely still, for sure, an RFD surge, and we obviously have a hook here. So, again, over Draper now. If we had a tornado, it would be on the north side of Draper. And we'll eventually move into Fifield and Park Falls. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, just a little radar phenomenon I noticed here in our tornado warning near Draper. So it does look like we have an area of increased velocities here, but in fact, this is just a little bit of a radar artifact with the radar site in Duluth. What we have going on here is called beam filling, and it's basically a very complex way of saying there's something wrong with the way the radar data is working. Normally it means that the radar beam isn't sized properly to sort of measure what's accurately going on in the area, and that's why we're seeing these increased velocity values. I do think we have the same sort of thing going on over here as well and across this whole area. This just happens because when you're too far away from the radar site, you just have all these random radar artifacts. So I would imagine that they're probably going to cancel this tornado warning. We did have a legit couplet when the tornado warning was issued, but now we have too much radar artifacts going on to actually tell whether or not this is proper rotation or just beam filling. In my opinion, this is beam filling and hopefully not producing a tornado.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Again, I do think damaging winds is definitely the biggest concern here, but you can see even on the latest scan, maybe a little bit of rotation, just not a whole lot there north of Highway 70. But again, if you are in Park Falls, Draper, or Fifield, continue to stay in your safe place, at least until the warning has officially come to an end, which if they don't cancel it, it will go for another 20 minutes, which is until 7:45 Central Time. Shout out to Josh with the $10 super chat. My son Dylan is a big fan of yours and loves your streams. Appreciate that. And also thank you, L, for the super chat. Your hair is majestic. Don't even listen to them. Appreciate that. Thank you. Also, new severe warning in Michigan. This will be for Bergland, Greenland, and Marcisno, I think, north of Watersmeet. That'll be for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Thank you, Terry, for becoming a moderate velocity member. Welcome to the Velocities. And also Sasky for becoming a reoccurring member of a month. Possibility of a tornado to hit Colorado tomorrow. I think we'll probably see a land spat or a tornado somewhere in Colorado tomorrow. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, I have an update out of Stone Lake, Wisconsin. It sounds like we have a localized wildfire that's going on from lightning activity in the area. No reports on whether or not this has been controlled yet, but there is at least a few trees and a power pole that is on fire. Stone Lake, Wisconsin.
Thank you for the update. So Stone Lake, Wisconsin. which I cannot find. Is there like a closer town? I can't find it. Unless I need to put a space. I do need to put a space. There we go. All right, this is over in Stone Lake, Wisconsin. That's just south of Hayward. So reportedly lightning sparking a fire there to the south of Hayward. Hopefully the rain just takes it out because there is still some light rain, but it isn't really heavy anymore. So it is raining, but it's not super heavy. This is Freddie McKinney. He has a big shelf cloud. Or he did. He might be just moving.
Better down here as well.
We'll go back to him in a second. There's a big shelf cloud there in Nebraska. New radar scan will be in here in a moment. The tornado warning in Nebraska will officially, or not Nebraska, tornado warning in South Dakota will officially expire in about 2.5 minutes. Has not been canceled yet. This is the latest velocity scan on our Wisconsin tornado warning. And again, I'm still not really seeing a whole lot of rotation. If there were to be a tornado, this is the area to be looking for. Generally speaking, I do think there's still some radar contamination here, which makes it look like it's rotating, which really isn't really rotating much. But again, this is going to be heading towards Park Falls and Fifield over the next few minutes. They have continued this tornado warning for now for Ashland, Sawyer, and Price counties in Wisconsin. Yeah, usually the rain will take out fires. I mean, there is enough rain, enough moisture. I think that fire will probably be easy to take out if it's not already taken out just by the rain itself. This is Freddie McKinney on the shelf cloud in Nebraska. This shelf cloud is literally about 20 miles out in front of any
I can't really
rain.
pull you guys out, can I? So, the phone's at 2%, so can't really pull you guys out here at the moment. What I might do is
I'm gonna wipe off this this little tornado spot.
Little tornado spot.
Ooh.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is
Also, this is John McKinney's view. Further off to the north in O'Neill, Nebraska. This is kind of associated with the line of storms. It's also producing at least one tornado warning back over in South Dakota. These storms heading towards Michigan. The upper peninsula of Michigan will see these storms. New radar scan on the Wisconsin tornado warnings coming in right now. Are the McKinneys related? They are.
Yeah,
This is Freddie McKinney's
punch
dad.
out in front.
New tornado warning in Wisconsin showing broader rotation. Going towards Park Falls.
Started to punch out in front of the shelf here.
something like that, if you get anything.
And then this is Freddie McKinney. Freddie McKinney's also live inside of the Radar Omega app. You can download it with the top link in the description below. Also live on YouTube.
How's everybody doing in the chat, though? I got you guys up right now. Just kind of reading a few
Should
of
get
the
another
chats in
cat
here at
so
the
Cheese Kirk
moment.
can have a friend? I don't know about that. I think one cat's enough. I kind of want another cat, though.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I feel like the strongest part of it now, Garrett, is like over by North Platte.
Back to live radar. This is our tornado warning again in Wisconsin. I don't really see a whole lot of potential of this producing a tornado. At least right now, the rotation's been pretty broad. Just to the west of Butternut, coming up on Park Falls and Fifield. Moving to the east-southeast right now. So if you are in this tornado warning, continue to stay in your safe place until warning is officially lifted. It goes for 14 more minutes. The tornado warning in South Dakota has officially been allowed to expire. Rotations remain kind of broad near Oldham. There's a little bit of rotation there still near Lake Thompson, but at least for right now, the tornado risk is low. It's not zero, but it is definitely on the lower side of things. And everything else right now to the west of Sioux Falls is damaging winds between 60 and 70 miles per hour. That is tracking into O'Neill, west of Vermilion, and west of Sioux Falls. We actually have a tornado possible label back over in Wyoming right now. And that's why. There's a little bit of rotation near the Cup Mountain that's tracking north. Almost tracking northwest. So we might get a brief tornado out of these storms back over to the southeast of Riverton, Wyoming. And then back over near, or in Idaho, we do have damaging winds around 70 miles per hour happening near Pocatello. There's mostly from an outflow boundaries here in the Pocatello areas, and also back over near Soda Springs and Grace. Out of Grace, Idaho, there's a report of multiple branches that are knocked out of trees and ripped onto a trop rail on the top of my fence. Blue deck furniture off, and there's also a power outage. So that's over in Grace, Idaho, from some of the storms that are happening over there. This is the latest velocity scan. Main area of rotation is still to the west of Park Falls. This will be moving into the Park Falls town within the next 7 to 8 minutes. So be ready for this in Park Falls and Fifield. It's a photo sent in from American Patriot back over in North Platte, Nebraska. Pretty good view there. Very ominous skies, very dark. What it's basically looked like across the board.
What was that? Bang, bang.
This is Freddie McKinney's view.
Alrighty, chat. I'm going to take over for a little bit while we wait for Freddie to finish watering the plants. I want to finish what I was saying a little bit earlier. I just want to take you guys to a little...
You got a new cat, would you name it Butterburger? It's terrible. There's no way I'm naming my other cat Butterburger.
You guys should tune into the stream tomorrow. I'll be out there chasing. And another one out there in Wyoming and Colorado. 2% tornado.
Storm heading toward Schomburg, Illinois. Nah, I don't think you'll see these storms. There will be a round of storms though tomorrow that'll produce the potential for severe weather. Isolated wind and tornado
and
risk.
The lightning and stuff is back in there. Also losing a little bit of its power. I did see a lightning strike back in there.
I'll name my other cat Butterburger if I got another cat. I would name it Butterburger. That's only if I get a sponsorship from Culver's. It's gotta happen. Still hasn't happened yet. This is the latest velocity scan on our tornado warning, and honestly, the latest scan looks even more contaminated. I still think we have contamination on this. The tornado risk, in my opinion, I still think is low, but if we were to have a tornado, that's the area that it would be in. It would be right there. About 6 miles to the north of 70. And then from Park Falls right now, this is about 10 miles to the west of Park Falls. Warning goes for 10 more minutes. They've just condensed the tornado warning a little bit further for Ashland, Sawyer, and Price counties. Here in Wisconsin, this is our only active tornado warning right now. A little bit smaller now, east of Draper, just south of Butternut. Still included in this tornado warning. This is John McKinney's view of the shelf cloud back over in Ewing, Nebraska. We'll have a view here in a second. There it is.
You got the whale's mouth there, and then the shelf. So let's see if we can get out here far enough to get a better look at the shelf.
Where is he right now? He is in Ewing, Nebraska. He does have his location on the bottom left.
guys if you're just joining.
New velocity scan on this storm will be coming in a moment. Again, tornado warning does continue in northern Wisconsin for the time being. Almost looks like the clouds are sparkling. Yeah, they are very interesting back there in the back left. All right, this is the latest scan. And again, I'm really not seeing a whole lot still there. It looks still very contaminated to me. It's on the northwest side of Park Falls near Butternut. So tornado warning continues for now. Again, we are in just such a big radar hole. It's really hard to tell exactly what is happening inside of the storm right now. Like, literally can't see it from any radar site other than the one that we're just looking at. Got a new severe thunderstorm warning in South Dakota. They're going to replace the one west of Sioux Falls. So this will include a bunch of different counties. I'm not going to name off all of them, but it'll pop up here in a second. Presumably, this will be the one just west of Sioux Falls. The storm around Sioux Falls likely to intensify. Probably won't intensify a whole lot. It'll most likely stay around where it is, if not a little bit weaker. But the new severe warning does include Sioux Falls in South Dakota. That is for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour. Quarter-sized hail is also possible, and they have remained, at least they've kept the tornado possible label on this line of thunderstorms. But I think it's mostly outflow dominant. I think the tornado risk is very low for the Sioux Falls area. But if you're in Sioux Falls, Parker, Canton, near Salem, Hartford, any of those areas, Vermilion, make sure that you're staying away from windows as this line of storms approaches, as there could be flying debris. Power lines could come down, trees could come down, that sort of stuff. So just be ready for all that sort of stuff. Also, to the west of Mercer, Wisconsin, there's a small little area of very weak rotation. Don't think they would tornado warn this, but just something else to keep an eye on. Got two different storms in this little cluster that have at least had some weak rotation.
Starting to see a little bit of a third tier up there on the top.
This is really weird. This is John McKinney's view of the shelf cloud back over in Ewing, Nebraska. Like a weird little, really bright tinge up there at the top.
Definitely
it's very weird.
Like it's coming up. It's getting warmer in the car, so we'll go ahead and put the AC back on.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
All right. Well, there is a new tornado warning. So I'll also be in Wisconsin. This will be for areas, I believe, just south of Ironwood. This will be for Ashland, Iron, and Price counties. Oh, never mind. It's going to be the same exact storm. So Park Falls, Fifield, just south of Mercer. You guys are now in a new tornado warning. So if you're in this warning, seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible. And rotation's pretty weak on this storm. It looks very contaminated to me, but obviously we are in a big radar hole, so it's definitely out of precaution in my opinion. And obviously it does have a hook. So it's still possible this thing could produce a tornado as it moves east. If there's still tornado warning that, they may even issue a tornado warning on the storm west of Pine Lake that's going towards Mercer. This one goes for 50 minutes. So again, seek shelter if you are in this tornado warning. Max, have you eaten yet? I have not. Not today's stream. Crazy shelf cloud here in Ewing, Nebraska. Max trying to leave this what we call Minnesota goodbye. I mean, for the record, I honestly thought the tornado risk was cooked, at least even in Wisconsin. Kind of surprised we actually, I mean, again, this storm I think is contaminated, but we have literally no way of telling from how far we are away from the radar site. Like, if we had anything closer, we might be able to tell if it's rotating or not, but it's hard. I mean, there is definitely a hook on this, but...
Let's find a viewing spot. We can fully check this out.
Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, I want to mention for anyone who is tracking this tornado warning from the Duluth radar, although the Duluth radar is the closest site, we are going into an area that's known as range folding. What this means is it's basically a 5-mile area where we have no radar coverage from a radar tower due to a change in tilt. So you have to go to a radar that's even further away. The best one to track this storm is Green Bay, even though it's even outside of the range ring. However, the Duluth radar will literally have no coverage on this for the next 5 to 7 miles.
All right, thank you, Riley, for the update. A little idea there on the radar sites. Obviously, again, we are in a big radar hole. There's obviously literally no way of seeing this right now. But obviously, if you are in the tornado warning, continue to take it seriously. We've had at least some broad rotation also west of Mercer.
Let's see if there's
Just keeping an eye on that too.
pull off. I think there's one here. Sort of. Nope, that's not. That's a culvert. There's a place I think we can pull off.
Max, what would you like to eat? Honestly, no clue. I don't know what I'm feeling. French toast sounds really good right
We
about
got
now.
a all right, we got a pole in the way.
Is your job
but,
hard? I mean, it's
there's,
for the record, like obviously what we do here on this channel. For me personally, it's very time consuming. Like I'm working most days like at least 6 to 10 hours, if not more, like every day. It doesn't matter what day it is, unless I'm literally on a vacation, which hasn't happened in a long time. So like, you know, generally speaking, like I work a ton, but outside of just that, like if it's a non-live stream day and there's literally no video, like I'm still doing stuff. But on a live stream day when we have a bunch of tornado warnings or big tornadoes that are on the ground or whatever, those are really stressful times. Like you don't understand, like when we have a big tornado and there's multiple of them happening, it's hard to cover every single location. That's one of the most stressful things about, you know, just streaming in general. Because obviously a lot of people rely on, you know, their location specifically being covered, and it's not easy to do that, especially when we have a bunch of tornadoes. So we've had that happen a few times this year. You know, we've had that happen on the high risk when on March 15th, March 14th. Those 2 days are both pretty stressful. March 14th especially. Even some more recent ones too. So when we have one singular tornado happening, it's way easier to cover that. Obviously when we have 5 or 6 happening at the same time, it can be stressful for sure. So out of anything that I do, I think that's probably the most stressful thing about just covering weather and doing anything weather related. This was from earlier from Brian Scholl. He literally was underneath a tornado here earlier today. This was at the beginning of the stream in case you did not see it. Much clearer view of how it was spinning and kind of roping out. Six to 10 hours like the rest of us. Well, I mean, that's just an average. Like I'm talking when we have like major outbreaks, I am literally working the entire day from when I wake up to when I go to bed. We've had many days where we have 12 to 16 hour streams, and that is a very, like, outside of the, even if it's like a 10 hour stream or a 12 hour stream, I'm usually still working on those other hours because I have to make thumbnails, I got to, you know, make a video for the next day, all that sort of stuff. So like doing this type of stuff, it's very it's basically running your own business. You got to understand, like being like a, you know, any sort of business owner, for the most part, any business owner, if there's any business owners in the chat, you probably have the same thing going for you, where it's like you're basically working way more than just a normal 40-hour week. Just typically how it works. So a lot more stuff that goes into it.
Caught that. Just put my glasses on and saw moderate Motley.
We still have no radar view on our tornado warning for Park Falls and Fifield, Wisconsin, but if you are in those areas, continue to stay in your safe place. It is bottom right of your screen. The radar is completely folded at this point. We do not have any view of this right now.
Be sure to
unfortunately, with
check
the
out
velocities.
Moderate Motley. He was streaming last night. I was watching his stream. He had a pretty good shelf cloud on there last night.
Do you like your
Just doing
cat?
what we do out here
Yes.
in Nebraska is
What kind of
chasing
question
this
is that?
stuff. There was a couple tornado warnings today. Nebraska had a tornado. I'm pretty sure. haven't seen it yet, but
So again, back over in Ewing,
yes, I wish I was
Nebraska.
on it, but I missed it. And then South Dakota had a couple tornado warnings, but I'm not sure there's any sightings actually. But got some trees here. Got the Elkhorn River here that's messing with us. All the trees.
It's about to
around
lose
here.
coverage. Yeah, it's a radar hole in northern
Nebraska's
Wisconsin,
not known
unfortunately.
for-
Pretty sizable radar hole. This is even the, like, we've gotten 5 scans in a row without being able to see this at all. And our only other radar site is back over, like, in Market, Green Bay you could look at, but, like, it's almost impossible to see anything here. Literally looking, like, tens of thousands of feet off the ground. But if we were to have a tornado be over Park Falls right now, then eventually approaching the 70 corridor between Fifield and Arbor Vitae, south of Mercer. There's been some broad rotation also west of Mercer, but not seeing a whole lot of anything crazy there.
Elkhorn River, by the way. Just went over it. And see back here, but in the front now we got a nice view of the up to the north into South Dakota.
Hey, Jamie, for the $5 super chat.
Our standard view here out the window. Nebraska side of things.
How's Bloomer, Wisconsin looking? Mainly just an isolated gusty wind threat.
I'll try to be patient and punch out here a little further. And
Hey, Jess also just super chat.
we can get
Shelf cloud on that? Yeah, shelf cloud's pretty crazy. I mean,
most of the full shelf.
this is one of the crazier shelf clouds that we've seen for sure today.
That
has multiple layers to it. Looks gnarly.
requires us to keep
Wisconsin needs more radar sites. There's a lot of states that need more radar
pressing
sites.
on. It's pretty cool.
Really
how
need
it
one in
curves
northern
up in there.
Missouri and southern Iowa. We need one here for sure in Wisconsin. We need another one down in southeast Oklahoma.
The
There's a
shelf
bunch of
cloud
places that could
curves
use
with
them.
the storms. So, honestly, I don't know. We might have the better. We might have the better storm down here right now.
Hey, sweet up for the $5 super chat. Are you gonna have a food review today? I don't think I'm doing a food review today. I'll probably eat actually something more homemade rather than order food. It is also way cheaper, so. But whenever we have like another like longer stream, we'll definitely do that. It was fun doing that last time.
That is a decent shelf. That thing has
Or are you out of them in Florida?
I'm gonna give it a recommend at the moment, so.
IHOP French toast? I've actually never had IHOP French toast. I have no clue if it's good or not. This is an update on our tornado warning. We still do not have any really good velocity scan that we can see at this point because of range folding. Again, generally speaking, there's still a little bit of, probably still some level of rotation. We literally just cannot see it. We're in a big radar hole, so just continue to stay in your safe place. Again, if you're in Park Falls, Fifield, this will eventually be going towards Arbor Vitae over the next hour or so. The tornado warning goes until 8:30 Central Time, so it goes for a little bit longer. Flash flood warnings continue back over northern Wisconsin. We've had a lot of rainfall there, between 4 to 8 inches here over the last few hours. And then a long line of thunderstorms is continuing to push towards Sioux Falls, with damaging winds upwards of 70 miles per hour being a possibility. And then back over near O'Neill is where we've had this crazy shelf cloud, this area of storms here that's all going to be pushing down towards Norfolk, Pierce, and then eventually going towards Grand Island and Omaha. And we also have a new severe warning back over near Stapleton, just to the west of Broken Bow, that is producing 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds and nickel-sized hail. That's what the shelf cloud looks like from a little bit of a closer POV from John McKinney. Back over in Neeley, Nebraska.
Southern Nebraska side.
Thank you, Shannon, for the 11 months. Got a cat tower to put behind you? Yeah, we'll definitely see. I might. Well, at least put a cat tower somewhere in here.
Still not back far enough to get it clear up, but... And here's the...
Crazy shelf cloud.
Up into the South Dakota side.
We do have a new SPC outlook for tonight. They have maintained the enhanced risk of severe weather.
They're back underneath.
Yeah, new severe thunderstorm warning in Wisconsin. This will be back over near Minocqua, just to the west of Arbor Vitae near Boulder Junction. That'll be a 60-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm warning, also with a tornado possible label on it. Are there sirens in Park Falls? Yes, they have sirens, but you never know. Some places don't have sirens. Thank you, JW, for the super chat from Sulphur, Oklahoma. Appreciate you tuning in. Anything from Maryland tonight? Not really. Have there been any tornadoes on the ground? We did start today's stream with a tornado on the ground. Other than that, I don't think we've had any. I think that was the only one. Unless we had a different one that just hasn't been reported yet. Hey, Jeff, for the 12 months.
In front of all the gust front stuff, so that's nice. And the temperature's up to 82 degrees. Oh. I'll just let...
All right, we do have a new outlook from the Storm Prediction Center for tonight's risk of severe weather. The enhanced risk has been maintained back over in Nebraska. We still have a 2% tornado risk. For whatever reason, there isn't one in Wisconsin, even though we have a tornado warning there. But there is one for Nebraska and southeastern South Dakota. The damaging wind threat is more elevated right now across Nebraska. And then large hail is also a possibility. Marginal threat has been condensed a lot for those in Wisconsin and Minnesota. The Twin Cities technically still in a marginal threat, but overall I'm not really expecting much more severe weather up there tonight other than what's already happening. The 2% tornado risk includes about 460,000 people. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, North Platte, Nebraska, Norfolk, Nebraska, Vermilion, South Dakota still included in that. So it is a smaller 2% tornado risk for tonight. Latest radar scan on our tornado warning. Again, we can't see anything on velocities. I do think it's more of a wind threat at this point. Storm itself does not look as organized. This is the latest velocity scan. It looks very much just like wind at this point. We still have range folding, so it's hard to tell for sure that is just wind, but I do think it is mostly just wind at this point. I do think the tornadic circulation has definitely fallen apart on this storm, which they've just gone ahead and canceled this tornado warning. So we no longer have any tornado warnings across the United States. But we do have damaging winds continuing across the upper Midwest, mainly from the upper peninsula of Michigan back over towards Phillips. 60-mile-per-hour winds continuing with a tornado possible label on that. And then line of thunderstorms is continuing to march towards Sioux Falls, Brookings, Madison, with 60 to 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds continuing. And also some storms ramping up near North Platte right now that are also producing damaging winds around 60 to 70 miles per hour. Thank you, Cure, for the sewer chat. The only storms I'm really expecting in South Dakota will be where we have severe warnings. There's a few further north, but those are pretty weak. This is the main area of where I'd expect severe weather for the next few hours, anywhere in South Dakota. Damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour is the main concern. Anything for San Antonio? Not really, just pop-up storms if anything. We actually have a severe warning in Oklahoma right now near Ardmore for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's heading up towards Pauls Valley and Sulphur. So that's a little bit of an off. Kind of a weird little storm that popped up there. We also had some storms try to go through Dallas-Fort Worth. None of those were really that significant. About a few storms go up near San Antonio, just pop-up storms. Isolated gusty winds, small hail, maybe some flooding. Alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and wind down the stream. Again, mostly at this point, it's wind. The tornado threat is, for the most part, subsided. There is a chance that we go live tomorrow, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell icon so you're notified if and when we do go live. Also, thank you, Salty, for becoming a 2-month member. As always, appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you to anybody that became a member today, super chatted, donated, anything like that. Really appreciate your support, as always. And maybe a video tomorrow morning as well, so keep an eye out for that. If we don't have a video, then we'll probably be live in the afternoon, so stay tuned. Click the bell icon so you're notified if and when we do go live. And then after that, looks like it's going to be quiet Thursday, Friday, unless we get a tropical storm. So we'll not have any stream days, it looks like, on those days, unless we get a tropical storm. So also, we're going to be raiding Freddie McKinney. So stay on the stream. We'll raid Freddie McKinney. He is still alive, chasing the storms in Nebraska right now. So just go ahead and stay on the stream. You'll be redirected automatically to Freddie's stream, where he is still out there storm chasing. And yeah, we'll see you guys all again in the next video or live stream, which again will probably be tomorrow. Again, thank you all the mods as well of the channel. And have a great rest of your night.